Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clockwork Cantina, episode 128. I had to look over and be like, what episode is this again? Because we have so many of them now. How are you all doing out
Yeah,
there?
128, man. We're almost at 130.
That's right. But before we continue further, I'm one of your hosts, Josh902, and this is the other host of the show.
I'm DT3. What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, guys? Sorry we didn't do a show last week, but my sleep schedule was completely boned, and I had to fix it, which I think DT can attest to this. It is fixed because I fell asleep in voice chat last night and did not leave the chat channel the entire
Yeah,
night.
it's everybody was wondering, like, yo, I don't know how Josh is still in here. Like, because you were there earlier, and I told him like he was here earlier, and then you just kind of like never said
I was
anything
gone.
again for the rest of the night. So we
I was
just
gone.
assumed you were asleep. Yeah.
So what happened was, I had your stream open. You were streaming in Discord of you were playing Sea of Thieves, I think, with Majin and Val,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing Loki. I saw Loki there,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then
Yep.
I had the stream open and I fell asleep and I woke up and I was still in the voice chat and I was like, this must be because I was watching the stream when I fell asleep. So that could be the only reason that I stayed in chat. There was no sound in this room at all. I didn't have the TV on. I didn't have nothing on. I was just gone. I didn't even have the light on. It was the only thing that was giving me light was the monitors because I was passed the fuck out. I was so tired yesterday. I've been working real hard lately. so so that's what that was about. But yeah, for today's show, guys, we'll be talking about Prey, the movie. We watched Prey, the movie last
Yes.
week. And then and then after we're done with Prey and talking about Prey, we're going to talk about Westworld season 4, which I watched the last episode this morning when I woke up. I woke up at 7 a.m. and was like, I need to watch Westworld. So
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it last night when it aired, after it came out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about both of these things here today.
it's going to be very
Sure.
interesting. Yeah. But the way we start this show off usually is we talk about what we've been up to the past week. But since we have 2 weeks, what have we been up to the past 2 weeks is going to be what we're up to. So DT3, what have you been
Yeah.
up to the past couple weeks, my friend?
So the past couple weeks, I have been up to a few things. I have been playing some games, watching some movies, watching some shows. A lot of watching shows. I've been catching up on a lot of Better Call Saul. So I was behind for a while. I had to watch season 5 before I caught up on this season as well. But I did it. I watched both season 5 and all of 6 tonight. Today is the finale, the grand finale of the show. The series finale is tonight. And I caught up just in time for that. So I will be watching it with everybody else. So that'll be good. It's a great show, man. It's really good, tragic. It's in moments, but it's just you know watching the downfall of this guy and then watching him descend into madness and you know going from Jimmy McGill to Saul Goodman, basically.
Out of curiosity, DT, do you need to have seen Breaking Bad to watch this show?
So Breaking or Better Call Saul is a prequel to uh Breaking Bad, but there are moments like the past couple episodes where they kind of because there's a lot of time jumping, right?
I gotcha.
So in the past in the most recent episodes, they allude to stuff that happens in Breaking Bad. So
Gotcha.
I would
That's strange.
recommend like having seen Breaking Bad before you do it, but you don't have to. I wouldn't say you do, but I would. But they do allude to things and they do
So
talk about stuff that
you'll get a little
happens.
extra like treat, I guess, if you've seen Breaking Bad.
You'll know about everything that's going on if you've seen Breaking Bad, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, just curious.
But yeah, it's been really good, man. I can't believe the show is going to be over tonight because it's been absolutely fantastic, so good.
Fantastic.
So I've been watching that. I watched Perfect Blue, which is this like anime movie. That movie's creepy as fuck, man. It's like about a former pop star, like Korean, or I think it's Korean. Yeah, like a former Korean pop star, I think. And then she kind of transitions into like an actor, but she has to deal with a stalker, and it's a little weird, man. It's a little creepy for an anime movie, but it was interesting to watch. I checked it out, and it was pretty good. Um, I have also been. Oh, I watched Lightyear. That came out a while back. I watched that.
Need
That
to see
was
that still.
interesting. I liked it for the most part, but there was something they did with the character that I was like, I'm not the biggest fan of that choice, but they did it. And this is the movie that Andy in Toy Story, the original Toy Story, fell in love with, and so I don't. When I think about it, I'm like, how is this the movie that Andy liked as a kid? But I mean, I don't know. I'd be curious. Which again is not to say that I didn't like the movie, but it's just like I'm very curious, like how actual children like think what they think of this movie, because there's some stuff in there that I'm like, I wonder how they think about it. But anyway, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, Josh, when you watch it. What you think about Lightyear? Because
Okay.
again, I like it for the most part, but there's stuff in this that I'm like, I don't know, man. But that's all I'll say for now. What else? I have been watching. Oh, I watched Morbius, dude. I finally watched Morbius.
Oh no!
Um,
Did you watch it alone or in a
I
group?
did because I was curious.
Okay,
No, I watched it alone. I
gotcha.
didn't subject anybody else to that because I'm like, you know what? I'm curious. I'll check it out. I watched it, and at first I didn't mind it as much. I'm like, oh, this isn't as bad. But then the movie was over, and I'm like, oh yeah, this movie sucks, dude. Like, nah, this the C also like the CG, like when they were turning into like the vampires or whatever was off, and it's not a good movie. This is not a good. And then
Morbid
like
time.
the whole yeah, there's some stuff that they showed in the trailers that it's like that isn't even like that's not a big part of the story, but you're still in here anyway. Again, I don't want to say too many spoilers, but yeah,
I got you.
it's weird, man. That movie's not great. But Uh, been watching other TV shows. Like I watched episode 3 of season 2 of Primal. I watched the Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation on Disney Plus. That was fun. I like Weird Al's new song was pretty funny. Scarif Beach Party. Uh, I watched the fourth and fifth episodes of season 3 of Harley Quinn. Been keeping up with that. I watched all was it 5 of the animated shorts for I Am Groot. Those are honestly, you're not missing out on anything if you don't watch them. They're just cute little shorts if you want to check them out. They're honestly like 3 minutes long. I mean, they're like 5 minutes with credits, but they're like 3 minutes long, and like they're whatever. They're fine. You're not missing out on much if you don't watch them, but they're neat if you want to see that. Oh, I watched this. The other movie I watched was Fresh. It came out this year as a Hulu movie, also along with Prey. Uh, Sebastian Stan is in it. Uh, Bit of a horror thriller kind of dealio. Um, that was pretty interesting. I enjoyed it for the most part though. Uh, and then in terms of stuff I've been playing, so off stream, I've been playing, or I was playing a little bit of Predator Hunting Grounds because Prey made me want to play some. Like I played it before the movie came out in prep, to get ready, and then after the movie came out because
Hmm.
uh, you want to hunt down some predators. But then, and then also Sea of Thieves I've been playing recently, which I'm gonna be playing more of that because the new update came out, and I want to play more of it. And then Fortnite, I did all my weeklies last night because I hadn't played for the fast, you know, for a little bit because I was binging TV and all that. But on stream, Josh and I played through all of Sniper Elite 5. So we started it and ended it, and then I played Road 96, started it, ended it, and then Doom Eternal. I just recently played, started it, ended it. So that was from start to finish. Sniper Elite, Road 96, Doom Eternal, all within the past 2 weeks completed. Um, and yeah, they've been fun games. They've
You
been really cool. So
knock some shit out,
that's
man.
kind of
Like crazy when you
yeah,
think
man.
about it.
Been going through it because I still have Game Pass for like a little less than a month. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to get through as many, games as I can while I have it. I'm gonna be starting Outer Wilds, I think on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. I'm intrigued about that game. But yeah, it's been cool just trying out all these different games that I wouldn't normally be able to because of Game Pass. So
I got you.
that's been good. But that's pretty much what I've been up to past few weeks. So
A
what
lot
have
of
you?
stuff.
What about yourself?
All right, for me, we did the All of Sniper Elite 5 co-op. We had a ton of fun. I don't know about UDT, but that was absolute a lot of fun. We played with my buddy. Uh, we've done the franchise pretty much at this point for the most part, other than like the super old ones. I think.
We did
Uh,
we did 4 and 5, yeah, and those
yeah,
games, those games are fun, man. I really
yeah,
enjoy those.
yeah. And I've played all of them except for 5. So we've knocked out those, and those were a lot of fun. I had a big blast to that. I also currently have Game Pass, and I played a game for like the past 2 weeks that I got super addicted to. That I was kind of curious, I was like, I kind of want to play this, but I don't know if I want to, but I kind of want to. So I ended up playing it. It's called State of Decay 2, which is when did State of Decay
Hmm.
2 come out? I'm gonna look this up. This game came out originally in 2018. Yeah, it looks like 2018. So it's a few years
Second one.
old now. Yes.
Huh.
Um, and it is a lot of fun. Um, there's a zombie apocalypse, and you play in survivors, but it's not just like you don't just pick a survivor at the start. Although you do pick a survivor at the start, but it's not like they're randomly generated, except for the tutorial ones. So you pick survivors, and they got random traits and things they're good at and skills, and the thing is like as you play the game, you build up like a base. You get like a home base that you build up, and you elect somebody as a leader, and you're recruiting more people that have random skills and perks, and they do different things, but they all have their own personalities. They're all fully voiced. They all have they'll have random quest lines. In the last run I did, I was playing as one of the female characters, and she has a stepbrother who was a cop. So one of her goals becomes like she wants to hunt him down and try to find him in the zombie apocalypse. We find him, we recruit him. He comes back. He joins the group, and he has his own set of skills. He has a cop car. And then I recruited somebody else
Has a
later.
particular set of skills.
Yes, exactly. And I recruited somebody that became my mechanic, and they turned out to have an aunt that was like a doomsday prepper. So he goes to the house, and he searches, and
Damn.
he finds a piece of paper that has some coordinates on it. And a little while later, he deciphers the coordinates, and it's like it leads to a car, and in the car is a bunch of guns and food and stuff. And he's like, "Thanks, Anne Elaine," or whatever her name was. And he's like, "Drive the car back." And I'm sure that quest line would have continued, except I completed that run. And that's the other thing is like when you complete a run in State of Decay 2, you pick the survivors you want to keep. So you can possibly get them or choose them for the next run of the game. This game is meant to be played multiple times. There's multiple maps. It has multiplayer. Like I can't believe this game like flew under my radar, I guess, and like all of our radars, because I don't think hardly any of us have played State of Decay 2, or if we have, we haven't talked
No,
about
I,
it
I
because
haven't. I haven't. I haven't played either one, the first one or the second one. So I've heard of them, but I just never played them. I might give them
and
a go at some point, but
I think they're
haven't yet.
fun, man. It's really cool, and I'm looking forward to State of Decay 3, which I think is being developed. Although I think there's been some turmoil at the studio, but if it's anything like 2, I'll be down for State of Decay 3, like on release when it comes out. Like, I love the randomness of it. I love like getting the random heroes with perks and things, and they come with their own gear, and their gear reflects who they are and where they come from. Like the cop guy, right? He had a cop
That's
uniform.
cool. I like
He
that.
had a cop gun. He had a nightstick. Like he was a fucking cop. So it makes sense. There's multiple bases on each map, and you swap between them. I think the most people you can have recruited at one time is like 9 or 8, some high number, which it seems it's actually kind of low. So like if they do a third one, I want them to add more people. Like I want big fucking base of people. Um, and they can interact with each other. And if morale gets low, they'll argue and then get infected. It's got like a lot of layers to it. It's like a big ass cake.
Damn.
Um, yeah. So the game is really cool. And if you haven't tried it out, Syndicate 2, it's on Game Pass. I think it was on sale this past week on Steam for like super cheap. Um, like I said, multiplayer, and it's got crossplay. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. I'm probably gonna start another run soon.
Nice.
So that's all the gaming I've been doing. I watched all of The Sandman on Netflix. That came out. I've been watching some things, and I was like, "Am I gonna like this? Am I not gonna like this?" So I decided to check it out. I watched the entire first season, and I pretty much end up like, "Do I like it or not?" I don't know how I feel about it. It's very weird at times, and I do like the main actor. I do like the main actor in the show. Um, I just don't know how I feel about it. A lot of people are praising it, and I think that's cool and everything, but I just don't feel like it's the greatest thing ever. I think it's interesting, but I don't know if I like it. It's the weirdest way I've ever felt about a show. It's like I don't know if I like this or not. There's parts of it I like. There's parts of it I don't like.
Huh.
And there's parts of it that are just plain weird. So
I haven't seen any of it, so maybe I'll check that out soon. But yeah, I haven't seen at all, so I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. It's one of those. There's occasions where I hit this where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this show. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's just a thing that exists, and I can kind of like it, but kind of don't
Yeah.
at times.
Oh, sometimes it's like that. You don't feel strongly one way or another, man.
And it's also weird because it's very light spoilers. There's like a mid-season finale in the middle of it, and then it changes directions a bit, and it's fucking weird because it's a Netflix show that releases all at once, you know? So it was kind of strange. I kind of want to read the comics. I kind of want to read the comic run of The Sandman that this is based off of by Neil Gaiman. So, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll figure out how I feel about this show. Next up, that doesn't. We're going to talk about Westworld in the second half, so that doesn't count. Oh, I've been dieting, guys. We've talked about this on the last show that we did. Like, I was like, you know what? I need to take care of myself, and I need to do better. So, I'm still continuing to diet. I've lost 3.5 pounds. Very small amount, I know, but like, hey, it's small victories that matter. They're gonna lead up to a gigantic victory. So we're gonna keep doing that. We created a TikTok for the Dice Creations stuff. If you want to follow it, it's 902 Dice Creations on TikTok. I didn't put it in my shout out screen yet, so that's why I put it in the notes. If you want to find it, it's out there. 902 Dice Creations. Just look for it on TikTok. And I've been making more dice. And I have a sneak peek for people that haven't seen this yet, which are these.
Damn.
These dice. These that are finished. I haven't taken any photos yet. They're not on the shop yet. They're painted. They're nice sneak peeks. Nice. I know it's a little blurry, trying to get it to focus. But it is awesome. Also these. Boop, boop, boop. Also, if you buy dice from the Etsy shop, you get a nice little pretty bag. Go with them. These DT wants these. Yeah, these are those.
Yeah,
those are the frozen.
Those are nice. Those are real nice. I do like those quite a bit.
But yeah, if you're interested in the dice making stuff, make sure to follow all the stuff that'll be at the end of when we do our shout outs for that stuff. All right, that's what we've all been up to the past 2 weeks. I know it doesn't seem like I've been up to a lot, but I've been like trying to fix my sleep schedule. Was like the biggest thing that I was up to this past week. So it was really, really boned, like real bad. Um, so let's hop into the news, shall we, DT? I'm gonna transition us over to the gaming news
Do
portion
it.
of the show.
Been
Let's go.
it's been 2 weeks, so we have a few things to talk about here. So let's get it. So first up, we have a new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer. Let's get on that here. Uh Pokemon Scarlet and Violet welcomes us to the Paldea region, which is the new region for these games. It's a 2 minute and what is it, 49-second trailer. So if you want to throw that up, Josh, so we can
Let's check.
show it for the peoples. That's what we're gonna be checking out here.
All right.
All right. When you're ready, 3, 2, 1, play.
See what we got. I should say I haven't seen this yet.
So we're seeing the new region that we will be participating in for the new game here.
Attention, please. Today, we begin the treasure hunt. Travel across Paldea. Get to know the region.
I just think it's weird that like the legendaries is like a fucking motorcycle, bro. Like,
Right? It's got wheels. That's really weird
Yeah.
that it has wheels.
and it's like you can use it as like a motorcycle, as like a. I don't, it went on the
Glider.
water.
Rich
It could
culture.
fly. Like what the hell?
The
Very weird.
Pokemon. And the people.
And the people.
Yeah, right. Because
Where
that's what
will
you
you
want to.
go?
That's what you want. That's what you care about when you play Pokemon game.
Who will you meet?
I'm sorry, the voice.
will you achieve?
I feel like the voice.
What will
This
you
voice is
achieve?
bad. In my humble opinion.
With you will be your Pokemon.
I don't know what it is, but it does.
Journey
It
together.
does sound a little off for some reason.
There's
I don't
something weird
know
about it, right?
why.
Yeah.
Learn together. Grow together. Find something to treasure.
It doesn't sound natural. That's what it is. It sounds super processed, and you can tell it's recorded with a microphone. It just doesn't sound good.
My boy Dragonite.
Hey.
So there you go. That's
Let the treasure
Pokemon
hunt
Scarlet
begin.
and Violet. And if you pre-order, you get a special Pikachu that can't be obtained through regular gameplay. It knows the move Fly and has a Flying Terra type. Now, available until Tuesday, February 28th, 2023.
Alrighty.
But yeah, this game releases on Friday, November 18th of this year. For those interested in the game, it looks kind of cool. I mean, I honestly have not played any of the newer Pokemon games in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the one that came out earlier this year, the Legends Arceus one, that one I was interested in. So to be honest, I might be checking that one out before I check this one out. But I mean, this one, I mean, it looks cool. I like. So far, I've liked the new Pokemon in this generation, and the region seems kind of cool. I like how you can, it seems like it's kind of, if you look at the picture in the article here, that's a pretty big area it looks like, and there's a lot to, lot to explore. So that'll be cool. Um, but yeah, what do you think? Did this trailer do it for you? Obviously, besides the voice, or no?
Honestly, no, it didn't really do it for me. Is that weird? Like, I'm usually like the
No.
Pokemon, and I liked the last one a little bit. I don't know. There's something about this that didn't quite get me. Like, there's some spots that look rough in the trailer, and then the voice really did not help sell me on the game. So like, I don't hate it. It's just it didn't grab me like something else could grab me. I don't know. It's weird.
I gotcha. That's fair. No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. The trailer was all right. Like the trailer itself was okay. They could have done better on it. Probably I think I'm kind of with you though with the voice. Like I don't know, like it sounds a little off. Like like as the trailer continued, like it kind of was like more and more you listen to them, you're like, oh wow. But no, I mean the game itself though looks fine. I just haven't played a Pokemon game in a while, so it's uh it's just how it is for me normally. But yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I think all the like Pokemon fans that I know, like that I have friends with, are enjoyed it. So I'm sure they're looking forward to checking this out in November. But yeah, so that's Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We can move on to the next thing here.
All right, what do we got?
So Saints Row maker Cloak Media has changed its name, hoping you can pronounce it, because a lot of people, including myself at some points, have figured out how the hell do you pronounce that. But it was pronounced Coke, right? So
That's what
that
I
is
feel like it was. Yeah.
that is how you would say that. But I know other people have been like Koch or Cock or Cook or whatever, but it's like nah, it's Coke. Uh, but they're changing their name to Play On, spelled Plaion, which is obviously like if you're saying the words play on, obviously, right? So that's what they're going for. The German Austrian company is now rebranding from Coke Media to Play On. So that's definitely easier to say, uh, or easier to remember, which because I mean the other one wasn't difficult to pronounce either. It's just trying to figure out which version it was. But yeah, they've so going forward, yeah, they're gonna be Play On instead of Cook Media. So for everybody out there wondering, that is what is going down with that. They got a bit of a name change.
All
Alrighty.
right.
Moving on to the next thing. We have an update from the Marvel's Midnight Suns team. So they
Sure do.
put out a tweet over on Twitter that says, and I quote, "We have an important update to share regarding our launch date for Marvel's Midnight Suns. After discussion with the team, we've made the decision to move back the launch timing of Marvel's Midnight Suns to ensure we are delivering the best possible experience for our fans. We will launch later this fiscal year on Windows PC, Xbox Series X/S, and PlayStation 5, with the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch versions following at a later date. We know fans are looking forward to playing Marvel's Midnight Suns, and we will use this extra time to make sure we are delivering the best possible experience for everyone. Marvel's Midnight Suns is easily the biggest game we've ever made, and we're incredibly appreciative of all the support players have shared with us throughout the years. Thank you from the Marvel's Midnight Suns team." So they what do you take out of them saying that this is the biggest, not even just the biggest game they've ever made, but easily the biggest game they've ever made? Josh.
Yeah, I think that's true because like they're dealing in the Marvel world, right? Whereas like I love this particular group, obviously for XCOM, right? But if you play XCOM 2, you kind of see through the cracks a little bit, which are like a lot of the maps kind of repeat a little bit, and they're just and like a lot of like procedural generation and stuff like that. Like that's all that's similar. I imagine for something like this, which is a licensed product of Marvel, you have that license, has lots of heroes in it, has lots of costumes probably going to be in it, lots of villains going to be in it. And from what we've understood of Marvel's Midnight Suns, like they've said that this game is going to be pretty big. Like people, like I think there's some behind the scenes stuff where people talk about like this game is pretty fucking big. And I'm not talking about like just the makers of the game. I'm talking about people, media, websites that have gotten behind the scenes and gotten like a little bit of a peek at it. So yeah, and also I kind of feel like I saw this delay coming. It's the only thing that kind of makes sense. What we've seen looks great so far, and I actually am super excited for it. I'm a little bummed that it got delayed, obviously, because I was looking forward to it. But it just gives me some more time to catch up on some other things I missed, and hopefully this helps reduce their crunch time, and they're not under so much pressure, because like I said, it is one of the biggest things that they've worked on. So yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I'm just curious, like obviously when with them working on like a property like Marvel with this, it's of course it's gonna be their biggest game, but I just wonder like what else like they have planned for this game, like that maybe we haven't seen yet, or like just what else they plan on including to make this different from a lot of the other stuff that they've already done. But
yeah, right. I'm curious about future DLC as well. Like, are they going to add more characters that you can get? Are they going to add more story content that you can get later on?
Yeah,
I'm really curious about that stuff as well.
Yeah, because we don't know about that, right? Because we know, like, obviously they have the roster that we've seen in the trailers and all that, but we'll see what they what they plan on doing for the future of the game once it's released and all that, So yeah, I'm very curious to see what they plan on doing with this game.
Same.
All right. So moving on from this, we have a few trailers to watch. Actually, we got three in a row. So let's start off with a gameplay overview trailer for Saints Row, which releases in about a week from tomorrow. So this week is almost out. This game is almost out, rather. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see what we got. Bit of a beefy one at 6 minutes, but that's fine. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm actually really curious about this game. I know that when it was first announced, Josh and I weren't the biggest fans, but I feel like for me, and I think for Josh also, we've kind of have like eased on the we've been getting more, like, I don't want to say excitement, but like the game has been looking better to us,
They've been showing more and more. They've been showing us things that we wanted to see, right? So yeah.
So let's check it out. Gameplay overview trailer in 3, 2, 1, play.
I know what it looks like. A brilliant plan gone off the fucking rails. You think it's some pendejo messed up, and now all these poor bastardos gonna choke on an all-you-can-eat buffet of bullet tacos. Well, I promise you, everything will work out exactly the way it's supposed to. Just keep your eyes and ears open. The next few minutos could mean the difference between becoming Santo Ileso's numero uno crime boss or just another notch in some punk's stolen gun belt. So how does an up-and-coming gun-for-hire like you wind up in a hot mess like this? Let's rewind. You might not know it yet, but you and your friends are about to found an institution, the Saints. And if you want to be your own boss, you're gonna need to bust some heads. First step in the journey is launching a startup. I mean the fun kind. Illegal, criminal, and not exactly on the up and up. And it all happens here, in the southwestern paradise of Santo Ileso.
Try to keep up this time.
All right.
This dusty jewel is a hotspot for striking it reach, from the glittering high-rises of Lakeshore right down to the dusty streets of Mercado, and across the sprawling desert that guards our city like the angel of death. It's the ultimate sinner's playground, ripe with opportunity to make a quick buck. But nothing comes for free here. Meet the factions. In this corner, you
So we got Los
Panteros,
Panteros. All right, we're beating all the gangs here. This reminds me of the Cyberpunk trailer when they showed us all the gangs. Remember that?
Yeah.
In the other corner, the idols. Now, these gatos are even more.
We got the
local.
Genki
I mean,
mask.
just look at how they're dressed. These kids take homicidal anarchy to the EDM club. They don't even have a leader, just some faceless group known as the Collective. They won't be stingy about investing in ammo, so be hot when you cross paths. And guess what?
Whoa.
There's always another corner. Atticus and his marshals take privatized defense
Marshals,
technology
huh?
to some seriously offensive levels. Capture and control is their motto. You want to try your human luck against their advanced assets? Oh, you can. Just don't underestimate him. Anyway,
Damn.
I don't have to tell you this. Ain't they your former employers? Way out in the desert, there is another wild bunch you might cross cacti with.
the hell?
All I'll say is if you do, bring your duct tape and cardboard.
Hey, yo, what the? Who's that dweeb, bro? What's going on
With a
here?
head full of dreams and a drive to hustle. You got the skills to make the kills, but you're not alone. Eli will be your strategic business associate. Count on him to invest the profits from all that blood, sweat, and lead into your startup. And in case you're ever looking for gift ideas, he's got this thing for pump shorties. When you need a fast getaway from trouble, Nina's right around the corner. She's not burning past cops. She's in the garage making sure the gang's whips are street illegal. Now remember to enjoy the good times while you're out there hustling. Your shirt-hating roommate Kev is there for you. He's a combination DJ, chef, and all-around thrill junkie. But watch your back, Saints. They call this wild card the Nawali. Word on the street is this hitman has an eye on Santo Aleso too.
You really think you have what it takes to bring me in?
Holy shit.
Every kingdom needs a castle, right? Before long, you'll be living large
Okay.
on 3rd Street in your
Saints
HQ.
crib,
This
here we
is
go.
where you'll run all your
Yeah.
major operations. You'll find it stocked with every
Like
amenity
it.
you'll need to expand your criminal empire.
I don't know where this is going, but it sounds like my kind of stupid.
We all have a story, and while I can't predict everything that will happen in yours, I do know that you are destined for a hell of an adventure as you and your saints rise to power. Find the twists and hard turns, and you'll emerge victorious with status, experience, respect, and all the fuck you money you could ever dream of.
The
How
fuck you
carve this
money.
road to success is up to you.
Chupacabra.
Criminal ventures taking over the city are where you'll exercise your free will as you shape your own empire from scraps. You want hot new skills, nines, and fits? Defraud the wealthy, open a chop shop, or train armed robbers. Goals. Always remember, even criminals pay for things sometimes. Drop by
Okay.
local businesses to purchase, customize, and upgrade
The
yourself and your
swole
valuables.
holes.
You want to look like the boss of Santo Aleso? This place offers choices so deep you'll need a scuba tank.
Well, you know, I have a lot of practice and pent-up rage.
I hear that.
By the way, I hope you're starving for some authentic Southwestern combat. You can solve plenty of problems with bullets. Others call for a more bespoke approach. Don't be afraid of getting creative. You may even want some weaponry that'll bend the rules like you. If things get too hard, you know you can always call in friends from the outside. Of course, BFFs are also prone to messing with each other on occasion. Maintain a thick skin. And while you're working your way up the criminal ladder, I highly recommend starting a vehicle collection. It'll be for business as
Hey.
much as pleasure.
All the cars,
As the
baby.
boss, you can pretty much take your pick of makes and models. But you don't gotta settle for the standard trim. Get creative. Turn heads with some custom extras. No one ever said it had to be street legal, hermana. Blue sky's the limit. So, we good? You understand the plan? Sounds like you're ready for some grande-sized life changes, Jefe. And Santo Aleso aims to deliver. Anyway, as I was saying before, everything will work out just fine.
All right. So, what what'd you think of that?
I think that's the Saints Row I remember.
That was I was thinking that too. I was like, this looks more like what I'm used to with the just with everything. Still, like I still am not like like going crazy over the companion characters because I'm like, man, they're never gonna live up to the OGs, but oh well, that's it is what it is, man. Like,
Yeah.
but I am liking all the customization stuff. I know we talked about that when we saw the customization video a while back. That looks cool. All the weapons and customize the HQ and the cars and the clothes and everything and your character. All that looks fantastic. I'm excited for that. I'm about that. It was cool seeing all the different like gangs or the factions that you're gonna come across. So yeah, I'm on board now, dude. Like
I am too.
I want to play this, man. I do want to check it out. So comes out in a week from tomorrow, like I said. So I know it was up on Keymailer, so I definitely signed up for that. We'll see if I get it or not, but I do want to try out the game at some point.
Sure.
We got another trailer. If you want to check that out, this is a character trailer for Gotham Knights. This one is so we've been checking out all the ones that they've had. This one is for Red Hood. So let's see what we got here.
I'm ready,
And
sir.
we can check this one out in 3, 2, 1, play.
Being dead, then brought back to life, it changed me. Some days I barely feel human, let alone a better man. But Gotham City needs me.
Almost got it!
This is what I trained for. Bruce gave me purpose. And I'll go to hell and back to see it through.
Bro, since when did they give Red Hood the Darth Maul horns, bro?
Right? It was in that mask.
I'm just thinking, like, we're seeing all the costumes right now, but I'm like, that one looks like Darth Maul, bro, like with the little
It
horns
straight
and
up
shit.
does. Yeah.
Pre-order now and get the 233 custom Batcycle skin.
I don't know, man. I though, like him having like just the extra
Ghost powers, the Danny
like,
Phantom powers.
stuff is a little weird. I don't know about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the character that I was looking forward to playing the most, but I don't know. It's a little weird, man. I guess I have to like play it myself to see how it is, but just seeing that, I'm kind of like, I don't know. That's a little weird.
I see what the issue is, and the issue is if they didn't give him something like that, like he
Yeah.
would just be generic, right? So they have to give him something to kind of stand out more from the others a little bit. Otherwise, he's just Batman again, right? He's just Batman in some in this world that has the Bat family that are all basically a part of Batman. So he has to get a little bit extra, and I kind of agree that I'm not a big fan of it either, especially the jump. I think the jump looks fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't like it, which is a bummer because I'm definitely going to be checking out this game. So
Yeah, it's just a bummer. Like I get that they gotta give him something gameplay wise, but it's just like I don't know, dude. That's just
I don't like it.
I just don't think that's the move, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know what the direction is to go with it, but I don't think that's the one, man. But again, you're gonna have to try out the game and see how it is. But just seeing it from the trailers and stuff, I'm not into it really.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
But we can move on to the next one because we do have another trailer to watch. We have one for Tempest Ring. It's a reveal trailer. So I have not seen this yet. So this will be my first time checking this one out.
Oh yeah, I put this in
Uh,
here.
so I am
I'm ready. Whenever you're ready.
curious about what this is. So let's check it out. 3, 2, 1, go.
Battle command uplink initializing.
Battle command uplink. 3D Realms proudly presents THQ Nordic.
You have proven yourself loyal.
Creation
to
by
me so
Slipgate
far.
Ironworks. In
Our
collaboration with
dynasty has
2B
waited long
Games.
enough. Show me that my trust is not misplaced.
Braces for the inevitable retaliation.
Classic real-time strategy returns. So I see why Josh added this.
Oh yeah, this is Command and Conquer, baby. It's back.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, that
Oh,
straight up does
yes.
kind of look like Command and Conquer. Look at that.
Yes, I haven't seen this trailer yet either. Oh my god.
Strong though they may be, they are still flesh and bone.
Nice. Tempest Rising. There it is. Connecting to your battle uplink
Get to
in
work.
2023.
That looks, I know it's just a trailer and they just showed little snippets, but that looks so cool. It made me think of the old school Command and Conquer. Oh my god, I want this to be a hit. I absolutely really do.
That looks like the next gener, like a good progression from like old school RTSs to like how they would be nowadays, right? So
Mhm.
I think that looks pretty cool.
And EA has
I
been
think that
holding
works.
out on me. Well, that's not true. They gave us the remaster of the original Command and Conquer, but they haven't given us anything like new, right? They remastered the original, which was fantastic, by the way. If you like the original Command and Conquer and Red Alert, both of those are remastered. Go get them because they're so much fun and they're interesting to look back on, and they've been HDified. I wish they'd do it with 2, but I also have been dying for years. MOBAs fucked me so hard. They took away RTSs and like the only thing out there was like StarCraft 2, and it's like I don't really like StarCraft. I want that Command and Conquer itch, and that looks like what this is to me. So it makes me really excited.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So that is pretty dope. You brought up Command and Conquer, and I'm just like, give me the Generals remaster. Man. I want Command and Conquer Generals. Man.
Yeah,
Give me
fuck,
that.
I'd play that too. So you're not into RTSs as much as I am, but does this interest you at all? Does this one?
It looks cool. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it looks like a natural progression of like what a like current generation RTS looks like. I think it looks pretty dope. What I'm curious about is how many different factions are they gonna have? Is there like they're gonna have like a campaign, right? But like, how long is that gonna be? Do you get to play with only one campaign or one faction for the campaign? Do you get to play with does each faction have their own campaign? Like that's kind of what I'm like
Yeah,
wondering about. But
Yeah,
it does
I
look
agree.
cool. It looks dope. It looks really cool. Yeah.
Super interested in that. That trailer got me
Yeah.
hype as fuck, and I always saw
Honestly,
it a little bit.
I wasn't even aware of this game, but now I am. So that's one to look out for, right?
Yeah, boy. So I saw it on like I was browsing through Twitter and I saw like a tweet that said, "Is this game the next Command and Conquer?" And it was like, "Hold up, let me open that shit." And then I put the trailer in here. I didn't watch the trailer, but I put it in here.
Well, I know that THQ recently had like their things, that they showed off all their stuff. So that must have been from that. Just
Yeah, I think so. I think
pretty
you're right.
cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing then, shall we?
Let's do it, eh?
So that is it for the trailers for now. The next thing that we do have uh, is talking about Nightingale and how the early access launch has been pushed to 2023. So Nightingale, the Victorian FPS or first-person survival action game, has had its early access launch pushed to 2023. This game is the debut of Inflection Games, a team consisting of former BioWare developers, including ex-general manager Aaron Flynn. They posted a message on Twitter, which reads, Realm Walkers, we've made the difficult decision to delay Nightingale's early access release to the first half of 2023. We'll have more news on a specific timing at a later stage. The move is based on two considerations. The first is an upgrade to Unreal Engine 5. After reviewing the potential UE5 has to offer, we decided on upgrading now rather than waiting until after release. Secondly, Inflection Games is committed to delivering the best possible experience and fulfilling the promise of what Nightingale's universe of realms has to offer players. To achieve that, the additional time will allow the team to make key improvements, bolster content, and polish gameplay. In the coming weeks, you'll see more game and development updates from the team. Until then, thank you for your continued support and enthusiasm for what we're making. It may take a little longer for the Mystical Fate portals to open, but we appreciate you taking this journey with us. All that sounds good to me, man. Honestly,
I actually think it's cool that they're like, listen, we saw UE5, looks fucking dope, so we're gonna upgrade it now instead of later. So that's the reason for the delay.
Yeah.
They actually give you it's not a vague delay that you often get, because obviously things are top secret and they're working on things. But this one's like, we saw UE5, we think it's dope as fuck, so we're gonna upgrade that to that now instead of later. Which, me personally, I'm like, what kind of trouble is that to go through? To like, how much do you
Switch
lose?
engines?
How much do you gain to upgrade or swap engines? I have no idea.
I was looking at what engine they were using before, but I'm still trying to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know what they're using for either.
I don't know what entails what happens when you just switch engines, like, have midway through, making a game. I'm not sure how that works. I've never made a game before, so I don't know how difficult that would be,
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get a game dev on here and be like, how much trouble is it to swap your engines halfway through game development?
Actually, that'd be kind of fun to talk about, because it is interesting shit like that, like.
Yeah, and I'm curious. I want to know.
How do you guys decide? Oh, we're gonna make this game on this engine, and then we're gonna flip it to this other thing because it looks cooler, or, it looks great, like, it looks better, like. It's interesting. I don't know what they're using before, but hey, now they're gonna be switching the UE5. So I mean, if I had to guess, they were probably using UE4, and they were probably
That's what I would think too. Like, just an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I imagine
That's
just doing a
probably,
simple upgrade wouldn't be as bad as totally swapping. Right?
Yeah, because if they're using maybe Unity or something different, maybe that'd probably be a bigger deal, but I don't know. I don't know for certain what they were using before, but I guess it's a safe bet just to say UE4, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I would think
Anyway, I am very much looking forward to this game. This is going to be one of those that, within our group of friends, we're going to be checking this out. So I cannot wait for this. I seriously am very, very excited for this one. It looked fantastic when it was announced at the Game Awards 2021. And I'm looking forward to it. I keep saying I can't wait for it, but I mean, I take your time with the game. I want it to be as good as it can be. This is one that's been on my radar since it was announced, and our friends are and I with us, Josh's friends and I are definitely going to be playing it. So yeah, we're hyped. Next up, we have another game update. This one is for Hogwarts Legacy. So they put out a tweet saying that Hogwarts Legacy will launch on February 10th, 2023 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. The Nintendo Switch date will be revealed soon. The team is excited for you to play, but we need a little more time to deliver the best possible game experience. So, yeah, another game delay. And of course, as you'd imagine, if you look in the comments, everybody's all upset about.
No, I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet from somebody. I was like, man, shut up. Shut up being a salty bitch. You haven't played it yet. What are you being salty about? Like,
Yeah.
because you gotta wait to play a game that you're gonna buy anyway. You just want to bitch about something. Fuck off. Go be a piece of shit somewhere else. Seriously. Sorry. Guys out there, don't be toxic on Twitter or you will earn my wrath on this show. We're totally fine with delays here. We have no issues.
Yeah, I am. I'm totally fine. You know, like even the indefinite one of KOTOR, like that one broke me, but that one broke my heart. But you know, it's
it is what it is.
Well, there's nothing you could do about it. You know, it's just like
it's not like we're going on Twitter yelling at the devs and being a piece of shit, right? We're just disappointed. It's fine to be disappointed with a thing. It's one thing to be disappointed with a thing. It's another thing to go on Twitter and be a piece of shit to another human being. All right, like that's completely wrong. Grow up, people.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little heated. What?
No, you're good. We got a few other things here before we end the gaming news. For the next one is we have Multiverse's next characters revealed. So they're going to be adding Black Adam and Stripe from Gremlins as the next two fighters in the game for the season. They recently had an update. Leave. But
yes, let me get an actual full screen open for you guys. Whoop. There we go.
So yeah, they have Black Adam from the DC universe and Stripe from Gremlins. They are both headed to multiverses. Obviously, Black Adam joins Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn as DC characters. And then they're obviously they're coming out with a Black Adam movie with The Rock this year. So it makes sense to have Black Adam in here. Because Black Adam has never been more the character that has never been more popular than now. There's all of a sudden there's so much Black Adam shit like coming out or putting them in and other things. So yeah, I mean that's kind of cool. This is one of those games where it's like it's gonna be very interesting to see who they keep adding because like Multiverses is owned by WB, and WB has a lot of properties, so they could a lot of IPs, so they can throw in like a wild amount of characters and whatnot. So it'll be, and then also they've been adding like skins and stuff because I know there was an image I saw somewhere. Let me see if I can pull it up, like showing off some of the upcoming like skins for some of the characters that are already in the game. Oh, here it is. I found it. So I'll just, if you want to throw it up, Josh, really quickly. Here it is. So they have skins for Bugs Bunny, Shaggy, Harley Quinn, LeBron, Taz, Tom and Jerry, Jake, and Garnet. So you got Brunhilde Bugs, Brunhilde, and then you got the Kung Fu Shaggy. You got the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn skin from Task Force X1 from the most recent Suicide Squad movie. You got the Robin skin for LeBron, which is like from Space Jam. I haven't seen it yet, but I know it's from that. You got the OG Toon Squad jersey outfit for Taz from the original Toon Squad or Space Jam movie. Then you got Flashback Garnet, which I've never seen Steven. Was it Steven Universe? So I don't really know too much about that character, but there you go. Jake the Star Child, Jake the dog from Adventure Time. I don't know. That's obviously a skin from something that happened in that show. I don't know. And then you have Detective Tom and Jerry, which I think that one's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But those are some of the upcoming ones right there. So in addition to adding new characters, they're gonna be adding like skins and stuff too. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up really quickly since we are already talking about the multiverses. But we can move on from that.
Alright.
The next thing that we have here is we have a new Lord of the Rings game in development here. So Private Division partners with Weta Workshop to publish a new Lord of the Rings game. So Private Division, a publishing arm under the Take-Two Interactive umbrella, has signed a publishing agreement with Weta Workshop to publish the studio's new Lord of the Rings game. Weta Workshop is the VFX studio behind the Lord of the Rings trilogy, directed by Peter Jackson. And in 2014, it founded a video game division. That team is now developing a new game set in the Middle-earth universe of J.R.R. Tolkien, according to a press release. Middle-earth Enterprises has licensed the literary works for the series to Weta Workshop, giving the studio the broadest creative license to interpret the underlying lore of the books. We are thrilled to partner with Weta Workshop to publish a game set in such an extraordinary and celebrated universe, Private Division head Michael Warros said in a press release. The Lord of the Rings IP is home to so many memorable stories, and no entity is better equipped than the team at Weta Workshop to create a distinctive new Middle-earth gaming experience. Weta Workshop's gaming lead, Amy Wolkin, says it's a privilege to create a new game set in Middle-earth, especially one that's going to be so different from what fans have played previously. As a fan ourselves, we're excited for gamers to explore Middle-earth in the way they've never before and introduce new fans to the magic of Lord of the Rings. Obviously, the game has yet to have a title, and it's in early development. It doesn't have a release date either, but it's expected to launch sometime between Take-Two's fiscal year of 2024, which takes place in April of 2023 to March 2024. So, we got another Lord of the Rings game coming, Josh. We don't know much about it, but we know it's happening.
Yeah, I'm curious to what it'll be. Yeah, I'm curious. But
Yeah,
it's
I don't know. We have it's an interesting time because we have a few Lord of the Rings games coming out.
you know, what'd be
we have
crazy?
the one. What?
Let me get this joke in, please. It'd be
Go,
crazy
go,
if they did a Gollum game. Who would be dumb enough to do that? That's fucking stupid, right? Who want a game about? Yeah, what do you mean they're doing that? Oh no. Okay, we can move on now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say we have a few Lord of the Rings games already coming up, like the Gollum one you just mentioned, the Mines of Moria one, and then now this. So like, I don't know if we're gonna. It'll be very, very, very interesting to see like what it is, what's it gonna be, because is it gonna like who's it gonna focus on? Like, is it gonna be something more like the other games, the Shadow of War and the Shadow of Mordor ones, which are kind of like not really on anybody from the movies and just kind of like its own thing, or they did say it's going to be different than anything we've seen, we've played before. So who knows what that could be, right? I do like Lord of the Rings though, so I am going to be very interested to see what it's going to be about.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking of different things.
Very good. We can move on to the next one. The next thing, actually, the last thing we got here for the gaming news is they're at Disney's D23. There's gonna be Disney and Marvel Games Showcase. So Disney's D23 Expo is going to be happening next month. This showcase will stream on Friday, September 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific over on the D23 YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook channels. And they will be showing off some of their games for Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney. So there's going to be new content reveals for Disney Dreamlight Valley, Marvel's Midnight Suns, and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Disney is also promising a sneak peek at the upcoming Marvel Ensemble game from Skydance New Media. Former Uncharted director Amy Hennig's studio. Skydance and Marvel announced their project last October and have revealed little in the way of concrete details. The studio also has a Star Wars game in the works, but we'll see. It seems unlikely that we'll get anything on that. Beyond those projects, the other upcoming Disney games that we may or may not hear about is the Indiana Jones game from Bethesda, Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games, Wolverine from Insomniac Games, and maybe Ubisoft's new Star Wars game, or any of the other Star Wars games, like Eclipse or any of the other ones that we have coming out. So we'll have to see which ones we see, but I would say we'll probably be more likely to see something on Jedi Survivor, probably, which is coming out. It's rumored to come out next March, so I'm excited because there's a lot of stuff in here that I am looking forward to. So I will be checking this out.
I'm really interested in getting a look at that at least a little sneak peek of that Amy Hennig Marvel game. Very
Marvel
curious.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I love Lego Star Wars, so the fact that they're promising new content for that's hype as hell, dude. Because I wasn't sure if they were gonna add anything to it, but I'm here for it, man. I'm about it. Hell yeah, give it to me. But yeah, a lot of that stuff I'm really curious about. We'll see what we get, what we don't, but I'll be there September 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific to check that out for sure. But that'll do it for our gaming news, man. Unless you got something else.
Not unless something broke in the last 2 seconds. I can check real quick. Let me just check real quick. Nah, we good. We can move on. What we got? What's next? What's in the TV news? Let me swap over to the TV news.
Yeah, next up we're gonna be talking about the TV news.
All right. What do we got?
So, starting off in the TV news, we have a official trailer for Cars on the Road, which is a new Disney Pixar series coming to Disney Plus. I like the first Cars movie. I usually like most Pixar stuff, so let's just go ahead and see what they got for us here, and let's check it out.
All right.
It's a 2-minute little teaser trailer thing, so let's see what it is in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hey, Mater, want a race?
Well,
Come on.
look at you, all charged up to race. But I don't have a chance against... No! Come on, lightning! Quick! Hey, buddy, just letting you know I'm gonna be gone because I'm heading back east to go to my sister's wedding.
Wait a minute. You have a sister?
Whoa!
Boggles the mind, man.
It must be ages since you've seen her.
What if I go with you?
Really?
Let's make it a road trip.
There's thousands of things to see.
With just the tiniest little taste of death.
Oh, dear mother.
I'm guessing this is the beginning of something great.
You got that right. Well, wander the back roads.
This is so cool.
Make new friends.
Hey, where are you guys headed? I gotta rinse off this old baggage.
Whoa! Look at you!
What about me?
can't mess with perfection.
I spy with my little eye 2 clackety kitty cars.
Points for pageantry. This is not what I expected.
Whoa! All the bumps along the road. That's what makes life worth living.
Is that a fucking dinosaur car?
Look like it.
Peter! I got you, buddy!
I love these.
I don't know.
Cretaceous
Look, you
Gardens.
picked the last stop. World's largest tire maze.
McQueen!
Mater.
McQueen!
Mater.
McQueen!
Parents, stream it on Disney Plus.
Okay, so that is the new series for Cars on the Road. Disney Plus day premiere of September 8th. That looks kind of cool. I mean, I mean, it looks. I'll say this: it looks better than some of the fucking the last 2 movies that they did, man. Because those last 2 movies were not good. I do like the first one, like I said before the trailer. I don't know. Have you seen the other movies, Josh, or how do you feel about the Cars, like, franchise as a
I
whole?
think I've only seen the first one. I don't know. It doesn't. Wasn't for me. I don't think. Really.
I gotcha.
So, I don't hate it. It was just like, eh.
Yeah, I got you. I just wanted to include this in here because we do talk about
Mhm.
like Pixar and Disney shit. So throw that in there for this one. I think that looks kind of fun. I'm sure there'll be plenty of kids out there that'll be checking that out. I'm excited for that. Next up, we have new information about She-Hulk. Well, it's not so new now, but at the time when I put it in here, it was
Yeah, gotcha.
basically they announced. This is when they announced that the premiere date will change from Wednesday to Thursday. So instead of coming out on the Wednesday the 17th, it's coming out on Thursday the 18th. And they were talking about Daredevil and what's coming up with him and all that, and Tatiana Maslany, who is She-Hulk, is just said that Charlie is amazing. He does some really great work. The tone of our show is so different, and to see his character in the tone of She-Hulk is really fun to watch. And then Kat Corio, who is the director, was saying that to watch Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, and Daredevil go toe-to-toe and match wits, I think is something people are going to love. And she said that they have great chemistry, and it has the vibe of an old Howard Hawks movie. So that's pretty cool. We did see Daredevil in the last trailer that came out. He kind of appeared at the end there. So I can't wait. Yeah, this is coming out this Thursday, dude. We're only a few days away from this show coming out. So
I'm excited.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah. Next thing we have here to talk about is Peter Jackson says Amazon Lord of the Rings TV series ghosted it. That's quite the headline, right? But let's see what this actually means. So the Oscar-winning director says Amazon asked him to be involved with its mega-budget Lord of the Rings series, then cut off contact. But the Amazon says the story wasn't quite so simple. So Peter Jackson says that they asked me if I wanted to be involved. Writer-producer Fran Walsh and I said, that's an impossible question to answer without seeing a script. So they said as soon as we get the first couple of scripts, we'll send them to you. And the scripts never showed up. That's the last thing I heard, which is fine, no complaints at all. Talking to Hollywood Reporter's Kim Masters, the filmmaker echoes the anecdote and phrases it slightly differently, yet makes the same point. About 4 or 5 years ago, they asked if I would be interested in it. He says, so I said, "Have you got the scripts yet?" Because I know how hard the scripts were to write for films. I didn't know the people writing their scripts. They said, "Oh no, we haven't got the scripts yet, but as soon as we do, we'll send you the scripts." So I was waiting for the scripts to arrive, and they never did. There's a lot of usage of the word scripts in this, so I'm gonna skip over some of this to see if there's Jackson emphasized that he harbors no hard feelings over Amazon's series and is eager to watch it as a fan of the franchise. "I'll be watching it," he says. "I'm not the sort of guy who wishes ill will. Filmmaking is hard enough. If somebody makes a good film or TV show, it's something to celebrate. The one thing I am looking forward to actually seeing is it as a perfectly neutral viewer." He adds that Amazon is betting the farm on Tolkien, given its massive $500 million budget for the show's debut season. And then Amazon Studios responded to his comments with the following: "In pursuing the rights for our show, we're obligated to keep the series distinct and separate from the films. We have the utmost respect for Peter Jackson and the Lord of the Rings films, and are thrilled that he is looking forward to watching The Rings of Power." A source close to the project described a complicated and delicate backstory to the situation. First, the studio has high regard for Jackson, and the Rings of Power showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay have privately attempted to make overtures to the filmmaker. But as the statement suggests, there were also legal concerns about keeping the films, which are owned by Warner Brothers, and the TV show separate. There have been executive changes during the time period in question as well, with the former head of genre programming, Sharon Talukado, whom one source described as an advocate of luring Jackson to the project, departing the company in 2019. Perhaps even more crucially, sources say author J.R.R. Tolkien's estate was against having Jackson on board. This shouldn't be surprising, as the estate had no involvement with his films, and Christopher Tolkien has previously slammed the trilogy in the press as eviscerating his father's books, claiming they turn his novels into action movies for young people that lack beauty and seriousness. The estate is involved with the series. Amazon paid the estate an astounding $250 million for the rights to make the show. Jackson was also asked if the movie studio would greenlight his trilogy today, answering probably not. Not with a director like me in the studio that would put its money on the line for 3 movies. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess there, huh? With all that going on there.
Yeah, it's
I had
complicated.
known that that Tolkien's estate was not a fan of the movies and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely complicated for sure. I personally I love the movies, and the original trilogy of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, where I still enjoyed, but obviously not as much as the OG trilogy. And I'm looking forward to the show, so I'm gonna be very curious to see how this goes compared to the movies, because the estate approves of this and they didn't approve of the movies. So I
Yeah.
don't know. It'll be interesting. I'll be very, very curious. This show is coming out in less than a month, and we have House of the Dragon, which is another fantasy series, coming out like in less than a week, like this Sunday. So
Yeah.
we have. It's gonna be a good time if you're a fantasy fan, I guess, suppose, huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I agree.
Alrighty then. Alrighty. So that is the Lord of the Rings Peter Jackson news. The other thing that we have here is the Continental series, which is the John Wick prequel, is moving from Stars to Peacock. So let's see what they have to say about that really quick, shall we? Let's see what we got. So, the Continental will debut on Peacock in 2023 as part of a deal with Lionsgate. The NBC Universal streaming services already has the rights to the 3 John Wick movies starring Keanu Reeves. And the Continental has previously been set up at the Lionsgate-owned Stars, where it had been in development since 2018. But this is a statement that was put out. The John Wick films have become a global phenomenon, are among the most watched titles on Peacock, and we are thrilled and honored to partner with Lionsgate to extend this incredible franchise, said Kelly Campbell, president of Peacock and direct-to-consumer at NBCU. We understand the value of a global franchise, and Val Borland and team knew that by bringing Jesus, I don't know why I said that, by bringing this special event series to Peacock and putting the full power of NBC Universal behind it, the premiere of the Continental will be the streaming event of the year. Lionsgate Television Group Chair Kevin Beggs says John Wick has become part of the cultural zeitgeist with a massive, passionately engaged fan base around the world. We're delighted to partner with Peacock to continue the expanding John Wick universe. This agreement reflects a collaboration with our motion picture group, which has grown the franchise from beginning and was excited by the opportunity to bring it to the next level. Jim Packer and his worldwide television distribution team, which found the perfect home for the Continental, and the Lionsgate Television Creative Group, which created the brilliant and enduring property as one of the most highly anticipated streaming events of 2023. So, moving streaming services, and obviously the Continental is set in 1975 at the New York hotel that serves as the meeting place for, all these people that we've come to know. And it's going to be focusing on a young Winston, who is going to be played by Colin Waddell, playing a younger version of Ian McShane's character from the movies, who wants to take control of the hotel but must chart a course through New York's underworld to do so. It's going to be a 3-episode miniseries that is also going to include a young Sharon, who is Lance Reddick's character. And it's going to be, I think they're going to be like an hour, since there's only 3 episodes, they're going to be like an hour 30, like each one. So they're going to be like mini movies, basically.
Huh.
So it'll be very, very interesting to see these when they come out next year. I love John Wick, so I'm excited. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Yeah, I'm super interested in it as well because I love John Wick, and I just recently saw the 3rd one for the first time, even though it's been out forever.
That's right, yeah.
And it has some developments, though. It makes me really curious to the show. And the Continental is like the world building in John Wick, coming from a D&D background and history and story building and world building. The story building and world building in John Wick is so interesting to me, like, because it's not fed to us. It's just, it exists, and Wick goes to these places, and then we learn about these places as he goes to them. Like, I find that fascinating. So the Continental will be getting more info on that. So that's going to be cool.
All right. The last thing I have here for the TV news is the CW is set to be acquired. WB will continue to make scripted content. But Nexstar is set to buy 75% of the CW. They're going to be under new ownership. Mark Pedowitz is going to remain CEO. Nexstar confirms plan for 75% ownership stake. And they're going to become the company's largest shareholder. Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount Global will continue to own 12.5% each. The CW has been a home to some of the most groundbreaking and generation-defining programming in television, said Warner Brothers Television Group Chief Channing Dungey. We are forever grateful to our partners at the CW, especially Mark Pedowitz, who has been a great friend of the studio for many years, and to me personally. We know that the network will continue to thrive under his leadership. They will continue to collaborate on shared stories and future projects under Nexstar's leadership. the CW currently airs Superman and Lois. After having previously ended Arrow, and now they're the Flash is ending. It's Legends of Tomorrow. So the new ownership structure enables them to partner with Nexstar and Warner Bros. Discovery for the next chapter on the CW while redeploying capital to other content platforms at Paramount. So it looks like it makes sense with them like getting rid of all these shows and all this. That they're going to be having a shakeup in in leadership and all that. Which DC's undergoing a lot of that lately.
Yeah.
And obviously the CW does more than DC stuff, but like they do several DC shows, many of which are now ending. I don't really watch CW stuff anymore. I used to, but from off the top of my head, what I can remember that they do is, like I said, Superman and Lois. I know they do like Riverdale and a few other things, but not really sure like what else. Like I'm guessing they're just planning on making like less shows with like a wider like audience so that more people can enjoy them, and they're gonna make them cheaper, instead of making these like DC shows and stuff that cost more and just not as, I don't know, like they just want to be more what's the word, they just want to like reduce costs and all that, so they're gonna like deviate stuff to other things, and it makes sense. Again, new leadership, things are gonna change and all that, so I don't know. I mean, I
It's like
like
the
I
end
said,
of an
for me,
era almost, It gets
yeah,
crazy.
it is, because like I said, a lot of these shows are just they're ending soon, and
Mm-hmm.
even though I haven't watched them anymore, in a long time, yeah, it is the end of an era. Like they're shifting, and then they're moving to other stuff. So yeah, we'll see what they end up doing, man. I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't really watch CW stuff nowadays, really. But
I don't either.
I would be willing to go back and watch CW stuff depending on what they do, if they you know what it is. Like I don't know. It really has to depend on the show, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But that is some big news over from the CW and WB and new Nexstar and all that. So yeah, that'll do it for our TV news. Unless you got anything to add on to that, Josh.
We can keep rolling right along.
All right. Well, movie news it is, my friend. Wherever you're ready for that.
Yes, sir. Swapping them over now. What do we got first? Aha, this movie.
So the next thing we got here is a trailer for Devotion, which I put in here because I'm like, this movie looks fucking awesome, dude. I want to check this out. And I figure that you might be on a Top Gun hype because this is another like pilot movie. So let's
Let me go ahead and spoil this for you. I've already seen this trailer. I saw it weeks ago after I saw Top Gun, and I've never put it in the news because I forgot. And then I forgot about the movie because I'm dumb.
Well, there you go, man. That's this. Yeah, I still haven't seen Top Gun. I want to check it out, but I haven't seen it yet. And then this one though, this looks cool. This trailer is dope. So let's check it out. 3, 2, 1, play. They got a trailer before. Well, not really. Well, they do have a trailer before the trailer. Get out of here. Here we go. This looks cool, man. I think this movie could be pretty good, and I like Jonathan Majors too. So.
Just remember, you belong down here with us too, okay?
Based on a true story, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
The commanding officer called you one of the best pilots he's ever seen. It must be hard being the
naval aviator. Absolutely.
The whole world's looking different.
Did you ever think that you'd be in a squadron with a colored aviator? Lieutenant Tom Hudner. Jesse Brown. It's good to meet you.
That dude's also in Top Gun, the white guy.
Oh, is he? Yeah, he's like, dude, put me in all the pilot movies. Let's go.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so funny. I can't think of his fucking name.
You might get a peek at who he really is.
North Koreans came pouring over the 38th parallel.
Our guys need help, and we're up.
We knew this day might come.
Yet it doesn't make it any easier.
The most important thing is this. We bring everyone home.
Mistakes get us killed.
Can't tell you how many times people have told me to give up, quit, die even. That's why you can't always do what you're told. It's a mag! If I did, I wouldn't be here.
What do you want me to do?
Just be my wingman.
The real battle in all of life is being someone that people can count on.
Devotion.
Show off.
That was pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah, that movie looks pretty dope.
That looks awesome, dude. I want to check that out for sure.
So I definitely saw a different trailer than this one. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Because I remember a scene that is in that trailer that is not in this trailer.
Okay.
But yeah, that movie looks dope. I will definitely be going to see it. It
really does look great.
Especially because I loved Top Gun. Still probably favorite movie of the year so far. Year's not over yet. That I've seen, and I'm gonna be watching more as I catch up on some things that I missed. So that could change, but this looks dope. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Yeah. Maybe I can drag my dad to the movies to see that one.
Nice.
What do we have next, DT3?
The next thing we got here is Marvel is returning to the D23 Expo. So we just talked about how they're having a games, panel earlier. They're going to be having a show floor. They're going to be having some panels. So they're going to have a drawing one where you can kind of, learn how to draw some of the heroes and villains and stuff. And then they're going to have the Hall D23 presentation. So filmmakers, celebrity talents, prize guests from Marvel Studios will join Lucasfilm and others on stage in Hall D23 to showcase theatrical and Disney Plus titles. Going behind the scenes of some of these studios' highly anticipated film special series, and attendees will see exclusive footage and be among the first to learn what's in the works. So obviously, you're going to be getting some more stuff there. They'll probably talk about some of the stuff they didn't really talk about at Comic-Con, a couple weeks back. But yeah, man, that's exciting, dude. We're gonna be getting more MCU shit coming up. More Star Wars stuff coming up here next month. And this is a great birthday present for me because this is happening like the day before and the day of my birthday. So I'm all here for this. The actual Hall D23 presentation happens on my birthday, so I'm hyped, dude. I'm here for that.
Hell yeah!
Thank you Disney for more Marvel and Star Wars. I'm here for that. I'm excited. So yeah. After that, we won't really get too into this because it's kind of been talked about a lot really over the past few weeks, but we haven't really talked about it because we haven't had a show in a few weeks. But we're gonna talk about Batgirl and how it was axed by Warner Brothers and it won't be released on any platform. So again, under new leadership, DC has and Warner Brothers has been just canceling things here and there, and that girl is one of the casualties of that. They also canceled that Scooby Doo movie, which was called Scoob Holiday Haunt, which would have been a sequel to the 2020 movie Scoob. Uh, but insiders were saying that the decision to remove Batgirl was not driven by the quality of the film or the commitment of the filmmakers, but by the desire of the studio slate of DC films to be at a blockbuster scale. Batgirl was budgeted to screen in homes on HBO Max and not for a major global release. The initial $75 million production budget for the project, which finished principal photography earlier this year, and was already in post production, reached $90 million due to COVID-related delays and protocols. Which obviously came at a surprise because studios never really get rid of stuff that's almost done. Like they usually just like, if they're in post production, they usually, do the rest of it and then throw it out there. Kind of like how a few years ago, remember how the New Mutants movie was like, taking
Mhm.
forever to come out, but then like Disney bought Fox and they kind of just released it because they're like, fuck it, we might as well just throw it out there and see what happens, right? So it's weird for them to do this to Batgirl, but obviously they just want to use it as like a tax write off or whatever to get the 90 million back or whatever they want to do. But it's a bad luck, dude. It's a bad luck to cancel this movie when it was already pretty much done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah. There's not like a lot that we could say. So we've talked about this a lot in Discord, but we haven't talked about it on the show. So it's like it just fucking sucks. And like those people worked on this movie, and it kind of sucks that they're not gonna get like their moment. So it's a big bummer.
Yeah, nobody's gonna get to see what they did. Like that's like I don't understand like why it seems like such a bizarre like why not just throw it out on HBO Max? Like get be done with it. Like I think like if you're gonna move forward and in the future say, oh, we don't want to make this type of content anymore, then at the very least, the stuff that you already have in production, just release it. Just throw it out there. Like what's the worst that could happen, dude? Like it's already done, like basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, what the hell are you doing, man? So I don't know. This is just a really bad look, man. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with that. And then like all the while, you still have Ezra Miller doing all kinds of weird shit, and like the Flash movie is still happening, you know. But I did hear that they're kind of debating on what they want to do with that movie too, and with Ezra Miller and all that. So
it's
I don't
so
know.
weird. It's so weird. It's so whack because it's like it's got Keaton in it, right? And like, oh my god, that's like my Batman, and like that movie's. If that movie comes out, I'll be shocked. To be honest with you, I think they're probably gonna do something. If they don't, like, it's. If you think this is a bad look, if they don't do something about that fucking shit, it's gonna be a real bad look. Like even worse. So it is a weird time right now for this.
It is
set.
weird times. It is weird times for DC right now. They're undergoing a lot of new management changes, and yeah, dude, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see, dude. Like they're in the thick of it right now.
Mm.
And this is all a shame because I love DC, dude. Like I
know.
I'm Josh and I are both big DC guys, and like
we are.
It's just a shame to see them like for the past like even like I want to say like 10 years, like just obviously they've come out with some good stuff, but like the whole DCEU, like not knowing what they're doing with that, and like I just Justice League being a complete failure, like Justice League should have been as good, if not better, than the Avengers, dude. And like the fact that like it just was a total disappointment, and like We had to have a Snyder cut and all this shit. It's like, man, that's just like, and I enjoyed the Snyder cut more than the original one. Obviously, if you want to hear our thoughts on the Snyder cut, go check out the episode we did on that. But it just like, as somebody who loves DC, this is all really like very, very disappointing, and just they need to get their shit together, man, because for a long time they have not been like, they have not had a plan, which we'll get to. We'll talk about that here again in a bit. But
Yeah.
Moving on to other DC news. Todd Phillips, sequel to the Joker Folie à Deux, gets a fall 2024 release date. So October 4th, 2024 is when that will be coming out. They already had the day on hold. Warner Brothers already had the day on hold for an untitled DC film, so it's not shocking to see that one show up for that date. And on top of that, Lady Gaga was officially announced as playing Harley Quinn. She put out a video on her Twitter confirming the news. So it's just a little like 18-second thing here. And it's pretty much just has it just says Phoenix, and it has Joaquin Phoenix like kind of dancing around. It says Gaga, and then it has her kind of like in motion as well, and it has some little music playing in the background. And it says Joker, Folie à Deux. And then the release date, October 4th, 2024. So this fall, this continues to go with the rumors that the second one is going to be more of a musical. So that makes a lot of sense. So we'll see how that goes. But that's Joker 2. Now, DC will have a 10-year plan akin to Marvel's playbook, says David Zaslav. The Warner Brothers Discovery executive also addressed the scrapping of Batgirl, and he said, "Our job is to protect the DC brand." So here we go. You ready for this? Oh boy, let's get into it. So, 2 days after Warner Brothers Discovery made the move to cancel the HBO Max film Batgirl, an unapologetic CEO, David Zaslav, sought to reassure Wall Street there is a cohesive plan for the future of DC. You look at Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. These are brands that are known to everywhere in the world. Zaslav said during an earnings call Thursday, "We have done a reset. We've restructured the business where we are going to focus. There is going to be a team with a 10-year plan focusing on DC. Believe we can build a much more sustainable business." DC has long wished to emulate the success of the Disney-owned Marvel Studios, which Kevin Feige has built into the highest-grossing film franchise in history. Zaslav recently brought Feige's former boss, Alan Horn, on as an advisor. During an earnings call, Zaslav suggested DC would try to emulate the Marvel playbook. It's very similar to the structure Alan Horn, Bob Iger, and Kevin Feige put together very effectively at Disney. We think we can build a much stronger, sustainable growth business out of DC. As a part of that, we're going to try to focus on quality. We're not going to release any film before it's ready. DC is something we can make better. DC has proceeded and starts following the conclusion of Christopher Nolan's defining Dark Knight trilogy, concluded a decade ago. The studio initially tapped Zack Snyder to oversee its planned universe, which the filmmaker launched in 2013 with Man of Steel. However, Snyder lost the confidence of executives after the divisive 2016 Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, and some of the films in an ambitious 10-project slate announced in 2014 never came to fruition, including Justice League 2. Executive Walter Hamada took the reins of DC Films in 2018. and has been plotting out a number of films, including several for HBO Max, to meet the mandate of then Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar. Those plans are changing once again. Zaslav touted a number of DC films coming up, including Black Adam and Shazam: Fury of the Gods, and it just rumors as those films could shift dates without confirming or denying any specifics. We are very excited about them. We've seen them. We think they are terrific, and we think we can make them even better. Zaslav said in terms of marketing and distributing the upcoming films, which also include The Flash, starring controversial actor Ezra Miller. We're not going to get into all the stuff that he's been alleged of doing or accused of doing, but you guys already know what he's been doing. He's been doing some weird shit. Which is that movie's coming out on June 2023. The executive also revealed that while he is focused on theatrical releases, a number of movies will be released with shorter windows and on different marketing campaigns. We'll always be agile, and the focus will be theatrical. But yeah, they're obviously, we haven't had a plan for DC in a hot minute, and it looks like that's changing yet again. So, do you think, Josh, that finally, under this new management, they can finally get their shit together, or it's going to continue just to be a mess of, I don't know, this chaotic just shit that we've been dealing with?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, they are in a you have to prove it to me state. They don't have a Feige, right? Like, that's the thing.
They don't have one.
They're like, we're gonna do what Marvel does. But you can't do what Marvel does. You don't have the people working for you that Disney does. Like, I'm sorry, but like when you're sitting here like, we're gonna copy what they're doing, I don't like to hear that. You do not have those people in your house. You know what I mean? So like that's like, we're just gonna copy what we see and do it over here. Okay, it's easy to say that. It's another fucking thing to do it. And so far, you've shown me two things: jack and shit. And you ain't doing nothing.
That's true. Right? That's very true. Yeah, I'm with you. They have to prove it to us because for a long time they don't know what they're doing. They had no plan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you heard of obviously that they wanted to do a universe with Zack Snyder and all that, but that failed, and they need to do better, man, because DC is one of those properties that it's like, I cannot believe that they've struggled so much for so long as they have with this, because like it should be on the level, if not like doing better than Marvel, but it's been like significantly like just not on that level. Like it's been like they've been slacking like real hard, and they need to get their shit together. Hopefully they can find. Here's the thing though, it's like, who do you bring in as the Kevin Feige for DC? Like who is the Kevin Feige of DC? I don't fucking know who that is. Like I can't think of somebody like who's gonna be the guy or the lady or the person to do that. I don't know who that is,
I don't either.
Now I hope they can do it because I want DC to succeed, and I'm tired of them not succeeding,
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know like who that is. I'm glad that they're finally like, oh, we're gonna have a 10-year plan, and we're it's good to hear that they actually want to do this stuff. But yeah, no, I'm with you. They need to prove and they need to prove to us and show us that they're serious about it this time, because has not been the case up until this point. But yeah. Moving away from that, we're finally done talking about DC for today. Pac-Man is going to have a live action movie in the works from Wayfair, Bandai Namco. So Wayfair Studios, in conjunction with Bandai Namco Entertainment, are working on a new project based on the original idea from Chuck Williams, who did Sonic the Hedgehog of Lightbeam Entertainment. And there isn't a whole lot of information out there, but I'll say this: if they can make it on the level of Sonic the Hedgehog, I could see this being successful, because Sonic has been so good that our next story here after this one is gonna tell you why. But yeah, I think if they can make this movie like they have like kind of if they can like Sonicify it in that way, like make it kind of similar to that, then I could see it being successful.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as they don't do something like Pixels or some of those other shittier video game movies, and they'll be good. But yeah. So you got a Pac-Man movie in the works. But moving on from that, Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a third movie that is going to be hitting theaters December 20th, 2024. So again, I repeat, if they can make fucking Pac-Man like Sonic, which has been so successful that they're getting a third movie now announced, and like they're even doing like a spin-off show, I'm pretty sure about it too. So like the Sonic movies have been so successful that they're like just continuing to push forward with them and making more and even spin-off TV shows and stuff. So I have not seen the second one yet, but the first one was a lot of fun. So we'll see how they do it with this. But yeah, and I'm not even like the biggest Sonic fan, like I think they're like fine. Like I never really played the games a whole lot or anything, but yeah, I just if they can do it on that level for Pac-Man, then they'll be all right. And as for Sonic, that's cool that they have another release date for the next one. Yeah, it's because those movies just keep on doing well and they're successful. So
Yeah.
more power to them. The last thing, oh no, not the last thing. We have two more things, but they're both kind of related in a way because they both have something to do with Chad Stileski. So the first thing we have here is John Wick 4 will be the longest in the franchise, says director Chad Stileski. He's talked about how the editing has been going and how close they are to being done with the project. So, Chad Stileski had a little chat with Collider, talking about the movies and talking about the movie lengths. So, John Wick 1 was 101 minutes, 2 was 122 minutes, and 3 was 131. So each one has been a little longer than the others. And that's going to be no different with this fourth one. So he says it's longer than the other three, but not that long. And this is what he had to say about the editing and if they're close to being done. We're on the final stretch for picture lock, and then we have our VFX music. But this is the furthest along I've ever been, this much in post. We love the music that we've gotten so far. We still have Tyler Bates doing the composition on some of the bigger sequences. VFX are going to be coming in throughout the rest of the year, but we're dangerously close. In our edit, as far as our picture look goes, we're within a few minutes of locking. Our sequences are done. The movie is essentially done. There are probably another few weeks of tweaking overall. Then we lock picture, and we're about music, sound, and the effects. They also asked him about some of the practical obstacles that are in John Wick 4 with getting like some of the action shots, and he said, "Yeah, we know. Until we got there, that we realized, holy shit, it's like millions of tons of water. How are we gonna do that?" So there's that. So we figured out the one out, and there's one for the end of the film that I think we almost got figured out. So we can be initiating. So I'll have an end of the movie. I'll let you know how that goes. You'd be the first to know. A lot of things go into when you start messing with what you want things. Wait, a lot of things go into when you start messing with what you want things that can't be like. I can't control the sun. I don't even know. I don't even think we can control the sun. So you start blocking and playing, and you want a certain look. So we tried to do something at the end that is emotional and has cool lighting and looks. And we took our best stab at it. How we shoot all the pieces and now putting them together, we're still like, yeah, it's a bit more of a puzzle than we thought, but we have the right people, so I think we'll crack it. So that's a little bit more about John Wick 4, arriving on March 24th, 2023. So pretty cool. I'm excited for that movie. Now, the last thing, if you got nothing to say about that, Josh.
No, it's just cool shit.
The last thing we have here is, again, like I said, also Chad Stileski related. And it is about the Ghost of Tsushima movie. And this is an exclusive interview with Collider. He said that he revealed his plan to film the movie in Japanese. So he says, honestly, it's probably the same things that would scare the shit out of most people. It's a fantasy period piece. It's done with reverence to Akira Kurosawa. It's probably in the top 5 biggest influences of my life as far as film goes. It's a chance to push the technology and people in a story that's timeless. It's your typical mythological story of good versus evil, finding a man, watching him change the world, or the world changes him. It's all the Joseph Campbell stuff that you love in a story. You put that in with, obviously. So I'm told I have a bit of samurai. I'm told I have a bit of a samurai fetish, which is probably true from the manga and anime and stuff. So I think if we did this right, it would be visually stunning. It's character driven. It's got an opportunity for great action, great looks, and honestly, we tried to do it all. Try to do it all in character, meaning it's a Japanese thing about the Mongols invading Tsushima Island. A complete Japanese cast in Japanese. Sony is so on board with us, with backing us on that. I've been going to Japan since I was 16. I have a lot of love for the country, love for the people, love of the language. To try to direct not only in my language, but someone else's and culturally shift my mindset to bring apart that in a cool way that still entices Western audiences. So that's what he had to say about Ghost of Tsushima, and that sounds pretty interesting and exciting to me. So I'm about it. I can't wait. Yeah, if they do this movie well, man, ooh, I mean, I love the game. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Same.
And so if they can like make the movie like anywhere near as good as the game, then this is gonna be a fucking fantastic movie. But yeah, I'm excited, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm.
That is go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say I'm hyped. I'm really excited. Like, I love to Ghost of Tsushima. Like, we have long ass, many hour streams playing Tsushima, and I watching a movie of it would be the fucking dopest shit ever. So.
Yeah, that'll do it for our news for this week, man. That is it for the gaming, TV, and movie news. So
that is the news, ladies and gentlemen.
That is it, my friends.
We are gonna take a quick break, and then we will come back, and we will be talking about Prey, I think, first, and then
Prey first, and then Westworld.
Westworld. Yep. So don't go anywhere. Well, I mean, get up, stretch your legs, get a drink, whatever you gotta do. Go to the restroom. We'll be right back after this. I'll put some music on for you guys, and we'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from our breaks. I know it was quicker than usual, I feel like, but we're here and we're ready to talk about Prey and Westworld and all the goodness and goodies and thoughts that we have with those things. So we're gonna start with Prey. I'm gonna put up the text warning so you guys know that we're talking Prey. And if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to be spoiled on something, which I'm personally going to try not to spoil it, although I don't think you can help but spoil some of it when you talk about a thing, now is your chance to leave and come back later and watch after you've seen it. But we're probably going to spoil it. That's probably what's going to happen. So the text is up and we're going to talk about it. So DT3. Did you like this here movie called Prey?
I love Prey.
I also love Prey.
I actually watched this movie 3 times already, like within like close proximity to when it came out, by the way, because I watched it once when it first came out, then I watched it again with my dad, then I watched it again by myself in Comanche. So I watched it in both English and Comanche. So yeah, I watched it a few times. It was great.
Yeah, I myself have seen it twice. I saw it same as DT myself, and then the second one I watched with my dad. So I haven't seen the Comanche version. I'm going to watch it eventually. But yeah, that's one of the cool things about this movie is they made a Comanche dub of it out there. So make
Yeah.
sure to go give it a watch through with in Comanche if you haven't seen it yet. So I feel like when we first talked about this movie, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. Mostly because I was worried about the Predator movies because it's been like years since we've gotten anything that was like good. And for me, I'm so glad. Like that, I think when we actually saw a trailer for the first time, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool." And then we actually got the movie, and we got some of those early reactions for people that saw it at like Comic-Con and stuff. Oh, this is gonna be a smash hit, isn't it? And then we saw it, and it was like, I fucking understand why. This movie is fantastic. Yeah. The only way this movie could have been better is if I could have seen it on the big screen. I wish it'd been in theaters, you know? Like, I would have loved to go to the movies and seen it.
This movie would have been awesome in theaters, sure.
And the cast is great.
Yeah, cast is really good. Amber Midthunder was fantastic as Naru, and then you got Dakota Beavers as Tabe. Even the dog Sari was great. Portrayed by Coco the dog. And yeah, it was this movie has a lot of cool stuff in it, man. The cast all did great. We had obviously the ones that I mentioned already. And then in addition to that, you have Dane DeLegrio as the Predator. Michelle Thrush is Aruka. And there's a few of the other like supporting characters like Stormy Kip as Wasape, who's one of the Comanche warriors, who's like doubtful and kind of antagonistic towards Naru. And then you have Mike Patterson, who was Big Beard, one of the French fur trappers. Bennett Taylor as Raphael, who was with the French trappers as well. But yeah, for the most part, I think everybody did pretty great. Amber Midthunder is going to be in everything now after this. By the way,
she's great.
Don't be surprised. She's in a bunch of shit
and she
now.
deserves all the praise that she's getting.
Yeah.
I also think Dakota Beavers is going to get a lot more as well because I think he's fantastic. I think he's a little bit getting underrated. I think Amber Midthunder is fantastic, so she's getting a lot of the praise. But I think Dakota Beavers as well is also really great in the film. Their relationship is great.
What's interesting about Dakota Beavers is that this is his first acting thing he's been in because he's a musician. Usually,
really, I had no idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
So this
That's
is
awesome.
Prey was the first thing he was in because he's a musician, and yeah, I mean he did great though. Like yeah, I agree with you. He did awesome. So
one of the things I like about this movie, and this is going to be in some light spoilers, is that I actually really like the relationship between Naru and her brother. Like, like it is very he is on her side, for the most part. Like he worries, right? He's kind of worried about her. Like it's very easy to turn that into almost an antagonistic relationship, but it's not. He's always like kind of supportive of her, and like he's like in the very early on when there's like she should stay with us, like she knows medicine, like she said she shouldn't go back, we might need her. Like he is. So I like that they actually are like siblings, you know, like it's actual, like it's not like they're making him an antagonist to kind of like give her somebody to butt heads with. It's their relationship really is a sibling relationship, and they can obviously very much care about each other, and you can tell that in the movie. It's one of the things I like most about the movie, actually. And what were you gonna say, DT? I kind of kept going on and mowed over you. I apologize. What were you gonna say?
No, you're good. No, it's like because she shows interest in like becoming a hunter because
Mhm.
they're like, oh, she should just stick to healing and medicine and all that stuff, right? Like even the mom kind of tells her that, and it's like, well, she wants to she wants to prove that she can hunt like all the other dudes.
Yeah.
Um, and she does in this movie for sure. She she does a very good job. I would say I would throw Naru in there as like one of the like she's like an action movie like badass dude. Like
Give me
she's
just
up
a
there with
moment.
some of the other ones, man.
I have a sound bite for this, guys. I believe. Let's hope
Oh,
it plays.
oh, let's see.
Yeah, yeah. That's a little quiet. Why is that so quiet? Oh, that's why. Let me turn it up. Let me put that all the way up.
You put her in
Put
charge.
it up, man. Pump it
There
up.
we go.
Why don't you put her in charge?
But it's the thing we talked about. Um, in the past, which is like, why don't you put her in charge? You know what I mean? Like, so she's like, she would definitely make it. When we did lists of
Yeah.
female
Oh,
badasses and things, she's absolutely on the list.
She's on that for sure.
Like
Easily.
no
She's
doubt.
like look, anytime people talk about those lists from now on, she's gonna be on that. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's like 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives us another badass lady character. And yeah, and then like I said, Amber Midthunder absolutely killed it. She's gonna be in a bunch of stuff too now going forward. I mean, she's already been in a few things here and there. Like she's been in like Legion, the X-Men show, and she was in Hell or High Water, the movie, which that's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a
If you guys haven't
fantastic.
seen it. She's been in some CW stuff as well, like Roswell, New Mexico, and whatnot. But she's gonna be in some things here coming up. So good for her, man. But yeah, it's the movie is set in the September in the 1700s. I think the year the year 1719 to be exact, in the Great Plains. So obviously we're getting a predator story that is before any of the other movies that we've gotten. I will say that while I really enjoyed this movie, some of the CG was a little off.
Yeah.
Like you could tell in certain moments, like the bear was kind of like from the trailers, even the bear was like, eh. Like
I noticed the cat. The cat really stood out to me. The big cat that they fight, like
oh yeah,
especially
the
that
mountain
one. That
lion,
one stood out to me. That one stood out to me more than the bear did. And the bear did stand out to me, but man, the cat for me was like, yeah, I totally understand. You can't have an actual fucking big ass mountain lion, but
oh yeah,
it definitely stood out to me. But I was into the movie, so it didn't really bother me.
right.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Wilhelm scream at one point. I was glad to hear that again in the new movie because I feel like newer movies don't really use it anymore. And I'm like, yeah, Wilhelm. Like it's one of those things where it's like, there it is, I love the like brutality and gnarly, gruesome kills that are in this. Like there's some pretty fucking like brutal kills in this, and I don't know, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah.
Fight scenes were good. Like again, going back to like Tabe, he did a badass job with that. Coda Beavers did. Which you probably had a stunt guy helping him out with that, of course, but like, they still made him look badass, so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just really like this movie, man. It made me like you know what it made me want? Like if they keep doing movies like this, I would want a like imagine like a samurai fighting a predator, dude. Like a Japanese like predator movie, dude. Like you got the Yautja and the samurai going up against each other, man. Like that'd be like a Edo Japan style. Oh man, that'd be badass. Like it made me just picture like what are all the different like like what if we have a Western fucking Predator movie now, or you know what I mean? Like just all the different like possibilities and shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
have a fucking have a mafia movie with a Predator. I don't know, dude. Like there's if you can throw them in all these different like times now, like it's
Yeah.
I say now, but that's always been the case, But you know what I mean? Like it
No, I
just
know
made me
exactly
like
what you're
wonder
talking
like
about.
all the different locations and settings you could have a Predator movie in, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And then speaking of the Yautja, I really like the way the it looked in this movie. I believe they refer to this one as the feral predator because it looks different from the other ones from the other movies. It's like a different it's a different type. Like it's from um like it doesn't look the same as the other ones. It's just it's a different type of predator. Like
yeah.
the face looks different. The I think the height is different. Like it's like enough for you to know that it looks like a predator, but it's different enough to be like its own different thing. But yeah, I've heard this one referred to as the feral predators. So that's kind of what they're calling it. Pretty cool. I like the mask was a little different. The equipment it had was pretty cool, man. It had a
Oh,
lot of really
yeah. The
interesting
new
equipment like
equipment,
that.
or we should say the old equipment, I guess. The fucking old ass equipment that he's using is fucking. I loved it. I thought it was great. I was like, it's respectful to like the future equipment, but it's also like fucking badass and dope on its own. Like you can literally see where this is going in the years in the future. Where it'll eventually become like the laser cannon and all that stuff. That I loved that. I loved it.
Yeah, he had a lot of
My
cool
dad
stuff.
loved it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Another
the wrist
thing I
shield I
like.
thought was awesome. Wait, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say another thing I liked about Naru, because we kind of moved on from that, and then it popped into my head that I wanted to mention this, is just how much she observes and learns. Like it's not like she just instantly knows how to fucking beat the predator.
Yeah.
She literally learns everything she learned throughout this movie. She uses at the end of that battle, at the end of the movie, rather.
Literally throughout the entire movie, we see her like observing and learning what to do, what not to do, and she's smart. Like that's how we would all hope to be in a situation like that, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes in movies they'll have characters that just instantly learn things, and that always bothers me a little bit. But that is not the case at all in this film. It is the complete opposite of this case. They specifically show you Naru learning how she's going to fight this thing, learning the different technologies that come up, and seeing all the different ways that it uses them, and how she can use them, and how she uses her own things that she has, like the flower and the plant and all that stuff. So I appreciate that. That's good writing.
I liked her ingenuity too, with like adding the little like rope to her tomahawk so she can throw it around and pull it back and stuff. Like that was really cool.
For sure.
So yeah, she's a very smart, observant character.
The thing is that they don't just tell you that. They show you that.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Indeed. Yeah, this movie was just really, really cool, man. I know we don't really want to spoil too much into it. Kind of been talking about things here and there, but yeah, I just really liked it. If you haven't seen it, check it out because it's awesome. Like it definitely, to me, it's easily the best one since the original one.
Yeah, it definitely takes up that secondary slot for me in terms of Predator franchises.
And I haven't even seen Predators or Predator 2 and the Predator, or is it Predators? The Predators? I don't know. Predators, I think is what it's called. The second and the third one, I haven't seen those in like years. I need to go back and rewatch those, but regardless of that, I would still put this one at second place after Predator.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing is the music is great in this. It feels very. I noticed that when it first started playing, I was like, "This is very Last of the Mohicans." That's playing, like the movie. music. I was like, this is very Last of the Mohicans, and I loved it. I love the Mohican soundtrack; it's fantastic. So that is great for this as well because it is that type of orchestral type music in this film. So,
Well, it's funny that you should mention the score because the woman who did the score, Sarah Schnashner, she was hired for Prey because the director Dan Trachtenberg was playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla and was like, "Yo, this music sounds great." So she did the music for that, and he was playing that while making the movie. So he got her to do the music for Prey, and I was like, "That's fucking awesome, dude! Like,
that's
how
actually
cool
really
is that?"
dope. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
fucking
I thought
awesome.
that was really just a cool little fun fact there.
It is cool. It's really dope. I'm glad somebody appreciates video game music because a lot of times people it doesn't get like necessarily what it deserves, but
Yeah.
like the Assassin's Creed music is always usually pretty goddamn good. So it's awesome that she got to work on this.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, it's really cool that Dan Trachtenberg was like, "Yo, I'm playing this game right now. I really like the music. Who does this music? Oh, her. Oh, I'm gonna hire her for this movie that I'm doing called Prey. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
so cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, I just really like this movie, man. It makes me want to like go back and watch some of the other movies I haven't seen in a long time. Like I said, and it like I know they're adding content for Predator Hunting Grounds, the game from this movie, which I think is obviously like how could you not? So yeah, I'm just I'm excited because also in the post credits they show a little scene of like the like the wall painting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they show like more ships flying down to the planet. So hey man, maybe some sequels or something. Like
It definitely feels like some
I'm
sequels.
about it.
It definitely sets up some things. And you know what I was thinking when I saw that? DT, I didn't mention it in voice chat, but I fucking should have. I thought of the Clone Wars miniseries. When they did the cave painting
Oh yeah,
in the second
yeah.
season.
Yeah, for Anakin.
Yeah. I immediately
Yeah.
thought of that.
Hmm.
I was like, hey, that's kind of like that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I really like this movie. I like the characters and the music and the. But yeah, I'm about it, dude. I'm very I'm very glad that we finally have another good Predator movie. Because it's been a while.
It respects where it comes from, and and all that as well. So
Yeah,
like, it doesn't shit on any of that stuff. It just enhances it, makes it better.
If only some of these other franchises like Terminator and like Aliens could like do the same and have another good sequel, because it's been too long for those as well.
Who would have thought that it's actually a fucking Predator movie, right? Like, I would have always thought it'll be Terminator that has the next good one. And then we got nothing but shit for so long. Well, maybe Aliens. And, like, for me, no. It's Predator. I can't believe it's Predator. And I'm glad it is, because it's fucking fantastic. It's so good. It makes me want another video game. Like, not just like the multiplayer one that we play sometimes, but like an actual legit fucking Predator game, like with big budget and fucking good.
Yeah, that could be really fun actually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're always all about that stuff. We've been talking about all these games for a hot minute, like wanting the RoboCop game that's now a thing, wanting the Terminator game, and now we've gotten a few since then. Like it's we're making stuff happen. So hopefully we can get another Predator game, man. That'd be cool.
For sure. All right. Anything else you want to mention on Prey, or can we hop into the Westworld?
No, I mean that's pretty much for Prey. I really enjoyed the movie, and I'm glad it's getting the success that it has, and I can't wait for more stuff if it's gonna be as good as that. So I'm here for this. I'm ready for more. Make it happen. people. Let's go.
Let's do it. All right. We're going to switch gears over to Westworld. So let me put that in the text box for you. Season 4, spoilers incoming. And there are spoilers for this show.
Westworld
You got a few
season
minutes here.
4. Okay.
Season 4. Let me get a
So,
pool of my water here.
how do you want to go about this? Because there was 8 episodes in the season. I kind of took notes on each episode along the way. But I don't know how you want to talk about it. Like what do you?
We
I
can
guess
talk
first
about
we
it
should
however we
say.
want.
I guess the first thing we should do is that if we liked it or not. That's probably the first thing we should do. So, Westworld season 4. Did we like it? Yes or no? Josh, did you like it?
I liked it.
How'd you feel about it? Yes.
I did like it. I liked it. It's the most I've liked Westworld since season 1. How about you? How did you feel? Did you like it?
I am probably on the same boat. I did enjoy it. Like one of my favorite things with this season was like the musical covers and stuff. Which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, no, I did enjoy this season. It was a lot more for me. It was a lot more like engaging and like more like it made me want to pay attention more than previous seasons because before like I don't even remember a lot of like season 3 or like 2 a whole lot really. Because I don't know, those just did not. I don't know. Like we were saying, the first one is probably the best one, and then after that, it's kind of just been like not as great. But yeah, I definitely did enjoy this one quite a bit. Actually, like I said, it kept me engaged and made me like want to pay attention to what was going on because there's quite a few timelines happening in this season.
Yes, and we could spoil DT. I think it's fine to spoil the. You cannot talk about Westworld and not spoil it. So we kind of have to spoil it if you want to talk about it. So I'm fine with talking spoilers. What I was gonna say. I just left my brain at what I was gonna say. Oh, what I was gonna say is usually when a show starts to kind of slide downhill for me, it's a lot for it to come back. And Westworld came back to me. It was like, I missed you, old friend. You know, it had me. I'm so glad I checked it out. Like, do I want to watch this season or not? I don't know. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I was like, DT, you got to check it out. It's kind of like Westworld's back, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking cool. It's pretty fucking cool. And I was glad, and Aaron Paul is like...
Yeah, Aaron Paul was great.
I'm glad he was back because that son of a bitch can act. Like, straight up, like, he is fantastic throughout the entire season. He is awesome. You know? But yeah, what do you want to do? Do you want to go episode by episode, or do you have parts you want to talk about specifically, and not necessarily go episode by episode, but talk about parts from those episodes?
I mean,
however you want to
do.
do.
Kind of just, yeah. I mean, I like I said, I took notes for the episodes, like a little bit, but
you were smarter than me because I did not do that. I should have done that.
Well, it's like these episodes happen over weeks, so it's like, man, I gotta try to retain some of this like best as I can. So notes is the best way to do that for me.
Absolutely.
But we got like, so I think so. The first episode starts off and we have like William killing like dudes for like the property, right?
Oh, the whole Hoover Dam thing, yeah.
Yeah, the whole Hoover Dam. It's like the first thing we see, and then you got like what we think is like Dolores working and not having a social life. She's on a date with a dude and it like doesn't go well, and she's like talking about a story and wanting to have a happy ending. And like then we see James Marsden's back, Teddy's back, and Aaron, we have Aaron Paul, Caleb, we see his, daughter Frankie and his wife and like Maeve is like alone on her own journey, and like she kills a dude with an axe, and then she saves Caleb and Frankie from the dude that was trying to attack them, and that's kind of like where that first one ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of get them, like, everybody involved, and then like what like and then from the beginning starts off like the video game, the video games cover the song is called Video Games by Lana Del Rey. They do the cover for that in this first episode, and I thought that was really well, like, again, the music is really, really, really well done, and that one
Mm-hmm.
was a really good cover for that one. So that's good stuff.
One of the things
Um,
that I was surprised by in this first episode is like I wasn't expecting them to skip the entire war that kicks off in season 3. Like at the very end of season 3, like we're going to war. In season 4, that war has already happened. Like at the start of it, the Rohirrim, the robot thingamajig, the AI that predicts what people do, kind of thing from last season. I wasn't expecting them to skip the entire war, but that's what happened. The war kind of gets skipped, but I'm fine with that because a lot of people didn't really like the last season. Like it picks up 7 years after the end of season 3, which I forget about because it's only really mentioned in that first episode, and I don't think about it anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, then so second episode we got like William looking for Maeve, and he runs into Clementine, and then like there's a line in the the episode where when they're on the golf course and talking about like how obvious the Secret Service needs people were,
Mm-hmm.
uh
That whole
the
golf
golden
course scene
age
was
and
so
all that.
good.
Yeah.
With
That was
fucking
really
Ed
well.
Harris. Goddamn old ass
Dude,
Ed
Ed
Harris out there.
Harris, he's good, man, even at his age. How fucking old is Ed Harris now? Because he looked old as hell this season.
Let me look. He's like 71.
Huh. Okay.
Which makes a line in the very last episode, which I'm sure we'll talk about eventually, even more funny.
Yeah, we will.
When you think about it.
Yeah, so then Maeve and Caleb, set out and they fight some hosts, and they find that they find like the senator whose wife. So the senator was killed, and the wife is like kind of like put into like a barn or some shit, right?
Yeah.
And
you get
then
the
kind
fly
of
shit.
yeah, Charlotte shows up to take Anastasia to the barn with the rest of the livestock. They find her kind of like, I don't know, dude, like mentally kind of gone already. Like she's like I don't know, like killing a horse or some shit. And then Maeve kind of just like puts her out of her misery pretty much. And Christina is starting to feel, which is, Evan Rachel Wood's character's name in this season. She's not feeling too great after after the dude killed himself, because we have this dude that's kind of been like contacting her, being like, "Yo, this is your fault" or whatever, and she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right? And then the dude just kills himself, and she's like, kind of shaken, honestly, like from that. But yeah, so we start like getting some of these pieces connecting in that regard. And then we start. Oh man, I don't know if you got anything to say about season 2, but or episode 2, but fucking
Really.
episode 3 is when we fucking get reintroduced to Bernard. Bernard is back. He comes back in the 3rd episode, and they got they got fucking Call Me by Blondie playing, and Bernard's whooping this dude's ass outside the diner.
Oh
and
my
like
god.
he and
Fucking Super Bernard is ridiculous this season, and I
Dude.
loved it. He's like the
Yeah.
fucking Terminator. I loved it when him and Stubbs are in the diner, and all Stubbs wants is a pastrami sandwich. Damn.
Yeah, he's like, he's one of the pastrami. He's like, but you'll settle for the tuna.
We're out of pastrami.
And all I could think when they found when him and Stubbs, you know, met the group outside of the diner, was like, what kind of Mad Max shit is this, dude? Like, you got all these people pulling up on bikes and cars and shit, looking like post-apocalyptic Mad Max type shit in the desert. And then this next part is, I think, where Josh was like, all right, I'm back on board with Westworld, because fucking Maeve and Caleb went back to Chicago with the fucking back
it was this
mafia in them days. And I was like, oh, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I see why Josh was like, oh, on board with Westworld again.
The problem is we're only there for like a teeny amount, which is fine.
I know,
but it was still
which
cool.
I thought that we're gonna spend more time there because of that, but yeah, we're not there for much. But it was still cool to see, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got like the cover of Billie Eilish's "Bad Guy," playing in the club, the jazz cover of it, and
the covers are so good.
And then the Enter Sandman one, dude.
Yes.
Oh man, that one was so good.
That's the
dude.
song I was like, there's a song in that episode that you are going to love. And that is the song, was the Sandman, Into the Sandman.
That one was so dope, dude. I like, as soon as the episode ended, I had to go find that shit on Spotify, dude, because I'm like, I
lost my mind when that started playing.
It's great. It is a really good cover. But again, a lot of the covers this season are really well done.
Mm-hmm.
The Westworld Massacre game, with they got like these, they got like those, like the white muscly like android robot dudes,
the drones. I think they're called drones, right?
Yeah, those guys start popping out, and Caleb and Maeve just see people start shooting themselves in the head, and like, Caleb tries to find Frankie while Maeve, tries to open up the door and get them out of there, and William and her fight while Caleb saves Frankie, and she's trying to contact her dad through the little like radio, and then like Frankie's like feeling something off, feeling a little sus about the bear, and she sees, like, this is like when the dude is like trying to get them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And like she sees like the dead body in the trunk, and like Uwade, who's her mom, tells her to hide, and Frankie and Uwade kill the dude, and they run away, and that kind of like is like where that episode ends.
Yeah, we get more of that fly shit, which is so weird.
Yeah,
like.
And then we have episode 4 where Caleb and Maeve kind of infiltrate this like facility. He gets tagged, he gets hit, and she kind of has to like drag his ass to safety. And then we get the like the revelation of like Charlotte waking him up, and like she kind of turned him into like her pet, basically, Maeve fights William again, saying like, you're not the one I'm trying to control, and Maeve and Caleb take Charlotte away, and Caleb's still bleeding in the vehicle while Maeve explains how like she saw him and the potential of a better life, and they arrive somewhere where William starts shooting at him again. There's a lot of conflicts here with Maeve and William.
Mm-hmm.
And Maeve tells Caleb to take Charlotte and call his team to get him out of there as she engages with William. Caleb resists Charlotte and shoots William, but then William shoots Maeve and stabs her, and then she kind of just blows the area up. And Charlotte's like telling Caleb like, yo, you shouldn't be asking where he is, but when. And he asks how long it's been, And she tells him that it's been like 23 years for him. And you're like, damn, that's, you know,
She's
because you
like
kind of
conquered the fucking world.
yeah, basically. Because again, we have like all these multiple timelines going on at the same time. You're like, well, when is this and compared to that? And yeah. But yeah, so and then over in the Christina front of things, Maya keeps insisting that, you know, on finding someone for Christina. So they go on a date and they meet Teddy, Bernard, and the Mad Max crew, as I like, you know, as I call them. We're looking for a weapon in the desert. And yeah, they're looking for they're looking for this weapon and also sees dad, but he isn't there. And but the weapon they found, or the weapon they were looking for, has been found, which is Maeve. So that's where that one ends. They find the weapon, who is Maeve. Uh, Episode 5 starts off with William just like mentally, verbally abusing like this, breaking this dude and his wife. Like they're like sitting around the table for like dinner or some shit, and he's just like tearing them apart, right?
Yeah.
He meets a woman named Hope, and then he sees Charlotte with her like she's just like playing God, right? She's like all these people dancing around. She uses like 3 of them for she like literally uses them as like a chair and like sits down on like a few people, you know, as they like form a chair for her, and she talks to him about boredom and the old gods, and you know, she wants him to like kill someone and not hesitate like the other woman did, and wonders why, you know, he failed in stopping like, you know, the 38, I think 38 failures or however many failures that have been going on around the time. Uh, and then William kind of talks to himself, right? The host William and the human, you know, the human William kind of have a chat with one another.
Yeah.
So we get to see some insight into his mind as he talks to himself, basically. Christina wakes up and has like a nightmare and talks to Maya about it, then goes to work to talk to her boss about the new story. He asks her about the name of the girl, but gets interrupted by Teddy, who tells her to go meet him by telling her boss it's a personal situation. And they meet. Teddy says she should be asking who she is, not who he is. He tells her this world uh, is a well-told lie, and decides to show she can and decides to show her so she can believe. So she meets with Charlotte and tells her not to trust her. She then searches for Charlotte, but you know, we kind of find out that obviously, you know, this is Dolores. So Dolores gets interrupted, or Christina gets interrupted by her boss, and they talk again for a little bit. And she meets with Teddy afterwards to see who did this. Like she's like, who did this to me, right? He's like, well, you did. Like you did this to yourself, basically. Jay and Stubbs talk about getting to the women first before the others get to her. Stubbs senses something's wrong, and while they're walking on the street, everybody freezes. A fight ensues, and Jay heads to the roof, saving the woman from getting killed by William after she tells him that she sees it too, and he's not alone. We start episode 6 with Frankie and Uwade talking to Jay and trying to blend in, but one of their homies gets caught, and they all kind of make a run for it. They leave in a van and reach a safe place. Jay is kind of being an asshole to Frankie as she's like trying to contact Caleb. You know, he's like, "Well, I'm not your brother or whatever," and like, you know, you're wasting your time, kind of basically trying to contact your dad on this thing. So Bernard and an adult Frankie make it to Maeve, to, you know, back to Maeve and try to rebuild her. They talk about what he used to do and how he was not part of Charlotte's plan for corrupting the hosts. Bernard is repairing Maeve while adult Frankie looks on. And she talks about how she had to do everything for her mother when she got sick, comparing it to what she was doing with Maeve. And says she doesn't have a soft spot for her like he does. And how she saw her the last time she saw her dad when they got separated and Maeve went off with him. And in the middle of all this, you still have like Charlotte and Caleb talking about Frankie. She punches him and he tells her that she can't find or catch her. Caleb is trapped and sees a bunch of other versions of himself. Talks to himself, and the other version of him says that the only way out is death, but he manages to escape the explosion. He wakes up and sees Uwade. As he attempts to escape, he gets caught by those like white droney dudes, and they kind of fight for a little bit, but he kills it by stabbing it. And one of the most wild things, he uses one of his other versions of himself to like just fly out of the vent and to like just use as like a fucking
Yeah.
I don't like to splat on the ground pretty much, like I was like, that's crazy. But he makes it out and sends a message out to Frankie telling her he knows that she's out there, and telling her that he's stronger than him. And Charlotte, I guess, kills Caleb, and then she kind of makes a new version of him, right?
Aaron Paul kills in that episode too. He is
Yeah.
fantastic.
And all the while, like Frankie's like shoots Bernard because she doesn't believe him, and she orders the crew to get him and Stubbs out of there. Bernard tells her that one of her crew is going to betray her, because obviously we know that at this point Bernard is kind of like predicting everything that's going to happen, so he knows. She wants to know what to do, and he says to kill one of them. So she talks with Jay. He says that he also doesn't trust someone, so she leaves and decides to talk with her girlfriend. Walks into her place till she and then locks her into this place to keep her out of like harm while she figures it out. Which then Frankie talks to Jay again, and he brings up how she's family and he can't lose her and all this other open wound stuff, and that's how she kind of figures out that he's the imposter, because early in the episode, when one of the earlier timelines, we see how much of an asshole he was, right? As like when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how she figures that out. And Frankie hears the message from her dad, and Maeve stabs Jay in the forehead, and then Maeve basically tells Frankie like, yo, we'll finish what they started. And that's kind of where that episode ends as well, with along with Charlotte killing Caleb and all that. And then the start of episode 7 is where we have Bernard and Maeve finding the Sublime. He tells her how they've already been in it, and how they could all be extinct, or he could try to find the real her in the outside world and save them. There's a line where she says, she's like, for someone who acts like a god and wants faith, he has very little in them. Maeve wants Bernard to promise her she will send her to her daughter. Maeve and Bernard continue their quest, and he tells her no matter what they do, they can't win, but at least they still have hope. He tells her about the choice of still fighting with him. Maeve finds Charlotte, and she tells her why she kept running the Sublime. And then they themselves have a little bit of fight. William interrupts and shoots them both, and finds Bernard and fucking shoots him too. All the meanwhile, Akacheta and Bernard talk about how in every scenario Bernard dies.
Mm-hmm.
Over on the Christina/Dolores front of things, Teddy and her talk about the world they're in, and she asks some questions and says she doesn't know who she is. They're on a walk, and she asks Teddy what Dolores was like, and he says the world was cruel to her and she was cruel back. They go back to where it all started, and and he gets everyone to destroy the office. Teddy and Christina see the chaos started by William, and she wonders why she can't stop them. He says because it's real and she's not. And this is like kind of where the episode ends because you have like David Bowie's The Man Who Sold the World playing, and uh, William kind of wakes up William and tells him about Charlotte, and the imprisoned William tells him that he is him basically, and he knows what needs to be done. Then stabs him, calls him a cockroach, and then he fucking gears up, and the Man in Black is born again in his full cowboy gear. Caleb is like attempting to escape, but Charlotte and William, keep him from going. She chats with him and opens the door from Dolores' distraction. He finds Stubbs and Frankie. He traps Stubbs, doesn't believe it's her at first, but she kind of tells him about their past and he believes her. You got a nice little father-daughter reunion now that she's older and all that. Then they reunite with Bernard and Maeve. Maeve wants to be there when Frankie sees her dad to keep her promise, and then Bernard thanks Stubbs, and he thanks him and tells him he doesn't make it. Stubbs and Frankie have the no more waiting moment. They walk in after Dolores' distraction as well and find Caleb. She asks who he is, and he says, a ghost from the past. They see the dead William, and Stubbs says, whoever did this did us a favor. They walk away from it, and Stubbs, Frankie, and Caleb attempt to get away, but the crowd surrounding them begin fighting. Frankie catches a stray bullet, and Caleb carries her out of there while Stubbs fights off a few more of those guys. But yeah, that's kind of where the episode ends. And I remember watching this episode being like, yo, shit is going down, dude.
People
like,
are just getting popped. They were like dropping.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
everybody's
damn.
just killing the fuck out of each other. You're like, damn, this is crazy. Cause and then you have William just shooting the shit out of like Bernard and Maeve and Charlotte, and you're like, damn, are they dead? Like, what's going on?
Because you never know with Westworld. Are they dead? Are they coming back? Who knows?
Like, what the fuck? This episode, fucking went all out, dude. You're like, what's going on, man? This is insane.
Yes, sir.
But then we have the finale. So the finale started, and I was like, wait a minute. Who is this guy? I knew who he was, but I was like, what is he doing in this show? Fucking Stephen Ogg, dude. I was like, what is he doing in this, man?
He's been in it. He was in the first season, playing that one dude.
It's been so long that I didn't remember, dude. I was like, what the hell?
He was in season 1. He was in season 2 a little bit, not a lot. I don't think we saw him in 3, and I thought when I saw him in 4, I was like, he's back. Yeah. A lot of the dudes, I noticed a lot of the hosts that come back in this season, like the assassin, one of the assassin dudes from episode 1, he is from season 1 of Westworld. I have seen his face.
I couldn't remember. I was like, wait a minute, because I know he's been in a bunch of stuff, but because I know he's been in Better Call Saul and what he's been in Walking Dead, the other shows that I've seen. Yeah, Trevor from GTA. For those of you wondering who the hell Stephen Ogg is, so I'd seen him in stuff, but I was like, I can't remember.
This is him in season 1. This was him.
Okay, yeah. There he is. Yeah, I couldn't fucking remember, but yeah, he shows up, and then they kill him right away because he gets axed in the head, dude. He gets axed right in the dome.
He's like, you know how many of these people I killed? It's so funny. He's bragging and shit.
Yeah, and then he immediately gets killed, and everybody's still killing each other, it's the purge and shit, and Charlotte gets rebuilt, gets revived and rebuilt, stronger, and she's like, "Oh, keep the same face because I want him to know it was me," and
don't touch my face.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Bernard leaves her a message saying that if she's seeing this and him and Maeve are dead, asking what comes next in this world, even though she didn't want it, but she created it, he tells her that it's time for one more game. All the while, William's like killing sniper kids, calling them fucking campers and stuff. That
That is
that
the
that actually
line.
that made me laugh, dude. That made me laugh.
Yes, no, 71-year-old Ed Harris calling that kid a camper was the funniest shit. But then you got to remember, William is like our generation. He would have grown up with games. He would have known what a camper was in a video game.
He said, "You fucking camper," and pops him in the head, dude. That shit was hilarious, dude.
It was so fucking funny, dude. I've lost my mind. I
that's so
love that
good.
line. Imagine you have to sit down with Ed Harris and explain what a camper is. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Right? Oh man,
I loved it.
it was great. Teddy assures Dolores / Christina that she's real because her thoughts on the world are real. She ponders about who put the people in her life, both good and bad, and realizes that she did it herself. Like Maya and everybody, and so she kind of has a chat with Maya, even though she's not really real. Then she talks to Teddy about cherishing every moment with him to the detail. Caleb is protecting Frankie as he wants to protect her as he feels guilt for not being there her whole life. He brings her some painkillers and she notices his hand is a little wobbly, because he's not all 100%. And she tells him about her mom, passing the cancer and all that. And yeah, William is like driving in his like truck, listening to fucking Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, and gets attacked by some people, and he kills them all, of course, takes the glasses off of one of them where he kind of communicates with Charlotte.
Those guys are from season 2, by the way.
And she's like, "Yo, I know where you're going. You're going for the Sublime."
Yeah, he got them Google Lens glasses.
Yeah, where they can communicate. So Charlotte finds Clementine while looking for William after spotting, the dead William. And she catches up with William. They talk again for a little bit and fight. She shoots William and kills him, opening up his dome and crushing the little pearl. And all the while this is happening, Dolores, I almost said Charlotte again. Dolores is talking to Teddy about everything that's been going on, and the realizations of telling herself the truth of what they are, and the reflection them being the reflections of their makers. And he encourages her to find him in the real life. And Charlotte also takes herself out, opening her face and crushing her own little pearl thing, which that was kind of a weird looking scene, because you kind of like I just, it's weird seeing anybody open up their face and just
Mm-hmm.
grabbing them thing and killing themselves and all that. And but there's one final test of a game of her making, and then we got the Pyramid Song by Radiohead playing, and it looks like, Josh, that season 5 is going to be the last one. But we're going back to Westworld. We're going back in the Wild Wild West, man. So what'd you think of that ending, man? Because it definitely looks like season 5 is going to be the end. At least that's what it seemed like.
Well, here's the thing. We need season 5 to be confirmed because it hasn't been renewed yet. I found that out when I was looking around earlier, that there is no season 5 been renewed yet. So my first concern was like, oh, please renew it. You could end here and it would probably be okay, but I really want that season 5.
Yeah, I it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually gonna say, even if they ended here, I could see this working as an ending. Like this could work as an ending, but obviously we want them to continue the story, right? I mean, come on.
Exactly. And when Dolores, the Christine Dolores, when we see Westworld again and that music starts playing and we see the train and it backs up over the town.
Choo-choo.
Dude, I got so goddamn excited. I about lost my mind. I was like, oh, the son of a bitches. I thought I was out and they pulled me back in. You know, like I don't know. I don't know where it goes. Like the writers of this show are so much smarter than I am. Because I tell you, even if you just read the descriptions of each episode, I would be so fucking confused by Westworld if I wasn't watching it. Like, there's time jumps and things that happen, and mind controlling flies, and it's just, it was such a return to Westworld. I'm so glad this season was good.
It was definitely a return to form. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm excited where it goes next. I really do hope they renew for season 5. Even though this was serve as an ending, I want a season 5. I want them to get like, I think the creators of this show have a season 5 planned out somewhat, maybe not completely, but somewhat of an outline. Because I would love to see how it ends. Like I would love to see what they got for one final push. And not only that, you could bring back. If it was a final season, I'd bring back fucking everybody. Even if it was just little cameo appearances on occasion. I'd grab Anthony Hopkins and I'd throw him in here for an episode somewhere.
I was actually
or
thinking
anybody.
that. I was like, I wonder if they bring him back because we're going back to where it all started. So,
right?
I wonder if you bring him back for like even I don't know, like it would make sense. I could see it happening.
You could bring back the young man in black, fucking Jimmy. Fucking it's a Simpson, right? Or
yeah.
You could bring back so many. You could bring back everybody. Like we could see Hector again. Like who knows? Who knows? I would go all out on that last season. I'd be like, HBO, you done fucked up Game of Thrones, man. You know that last season with them dudes, but you could let us finish. You could let us finish the way we want to finish. Give us the money. Give us the stars. Let us do it our way. You know? So I had such a good time watching this season, even though I'm not smart enough to speculate or know where we're going yet. About the only part I had right about this season was like, I'm pretty sure that Christine character was not in the real world. I'm pretty sure she was an invisible program. And I was right about that, but that was gut feeling for the most part.
Gotta call that one.
So yeah, as a fan of Westworld, I want a season 5. I you know.
Yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed the season. It was definitely kept me more intrigued than the ones that came before it. And I like the musical covers and just trying to figure out all the timelines and all that was cool. It was fun. So yeah, I enjoyed it for sure.
Also, I think Aaron Paul deserves an award because my God, he was fantastic. Like he was, like he is crazy good. Yeah, like showing the emotion in his voice and his face and his fucking crying and shit. Like there's multiple moments where I was like, I think Aaron Paul might be better than Ed Harris in this show a little bit because he is bringing it. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I loved it. I love this show. I'm back on. I'm on the train to Westworld. Toot toot.
Toot toot. Josh is taking the train back to Westworld.
I am. All right. DT, is there anything else you want to talk about, or are we gonna call that a show?
No, I mean that's yeah. I mean, no, I mean I think it was a good season. Definitely, I'm a little surprised they haven't confirmed a season 5 yet. I mean, you would think that they were going to, but I mean, honestly, if they just decide to end it here, then I could see that working. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize that they hadn't confirmed that. That's huh.
Yeah, I didn't realize it
Anyway.
either. I thought they had confirmed it because I was looking on the fucking Reddit, And people were like,
Yeah.
season 5 hasn't been confirmed yet. And I was like, what? How? It's so good. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of Westworld. We've talked it to death. We enjoyed the shit out of it. If you haven't seen it, we spoiled it for you. Go watch it anyway because it's so good. DT, I'm going to throw over to you so we can say our goodbyes, my friend. What do you got coming up?
Alrighty. So coming up for me, I'm gonna be doing some probably Sea of Thieves tomorrow live. So by the time this goes up, I'll probably be tomorrow. I'll probably be already streaming it, or we'll have streamed it. So go check me out on the Twitch. It's over there on the sidebar. You can see it there. And then I'm gonna be starting Outer Wilds. So if that's of interest to you, definitely check that out. On the YouTube side of things, I have a few playthroughs gonna be coming up right now. The Guardians of the Galaxy one just ended a few days ago. Going up right now and for the next few days is the Raji Epic playthrough. And I also, after that one, I have the Sniper Elite playthrough going up that I did with Josh. We got Road 96 and Doom Eternal. Those are all coming up on YouTube, so stay tuned. Those will be coming out within the next few weeks. Within the next month, actually, probably. So just keep an eye on that. And then that'll do it for me. We'll be back next week, guys. Next week we're gonna be doing a retro rewind. We haven't done those in a hot minute. So if you are a fan of Princess Mononoke, that is what we're gonna be checking out next week. I haven't seen it. Josh hasn't seen it. So yeah, get ready. That's gonna be next week's episode. And then at the end of the month, we'll be covering Gamescom. So those are the remaining 2 shows for this month. And then we obviously next month we'll be back with a bunch of other things. But that'll do it for now. Thanks everybody. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye and peace out.
All right. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. We appreciate everybody that comes by and supports, even those of you that just hop in and have yourselves muted while you're at work or doing whatever you're doing. We appreciate you guys. Views help. Coming up for me, I'm kind of getting the urge to stream again, and I'm trying to decide if I should do God of War or Spider-Man, because by God, I gotta do some of that shit and get it knocked the fuck out.
Hell yeah, you do, my friend. You should.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're both great. I recommend either one because they're both really good.
Yeah. I also have to do Horizon at some point, so as well as a lot of other things. But I'm getting that urge. I've got that urge again to stream. I just got to make some time for it. I've been making dice. Speaking of dice, make sure to check out my Etsy shop, 902 Dice Creations. You can also see photos of stuff on the Instagram. I don't have it over here on the side yet, but we have a TikTok now as well, where I post pretty much the exact same things that I post on Instagram on TikTok. 902 Dice Creations. You can find all the dice stuff, 902 Dice Creations. Sellout mode is complete. Make sure to come by next week as we do the Retro Rewind. Make sure to give us your thoughts as well on Westworld as well as on Prey. We want to hear them. We appreciate you guys, and that is going to do it for this episode. We will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.